welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, Jimmy, God, your yay is so needed this week.
Good.
My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
We're pumped.
Good.
As usual.
Yeah.
I say this every week, and it's so damn true every week. First of all, guys, thank you so much for everything this week. Thank you for your iTunes reviews. Thank you for picking up a bunch of T-shirts, for your donations, everything. I know if you haven't gotten on iTunes yet, please do that. Give us 5 stars. Just say you're following instructions, following directions. You don't have to make up some big love letter to us. We don't care. It's fine. It just helps us out immensely on the business end to get the 5 stars. It's iTunes, they're so weird. The way their algorithm works, that's hard to say. The way their algorithm works, it's a weird thing with, downloads.
You don't want to try to understand. It's fucking crazy.
Reviews, but the reviews help us a lot. If you like us, if you want to help us out, that's how you can do it. If that's not enough help for you, if you need to help us more because you're so excited
there's more
to
you can
be
do.
here, there's more you can do. You can get on patreon.com/crimeinsports and you can drop a donation there. You can do that. You can also get on PayPal. Our address there is crimeinsports@gmail.com, and you can give us a one-time donation there.
We appreciate it.
Yes, and also, too, you can go on, as we know, truecrimecomedyteam.com. You can get both Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder T-shirts. And if you're not listening to Small Town Murder, I don't know.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What are you doing?
You're
it's
right.
this except with a small town murder. Like, how could you not listen to that? What's wrong with you?
Very self-explanatory on both ends.
It really is. Also, while you're at it, too, check out P.S. I Hate This Movie with me and my girlfriend Sarah, making fun of bad romantic comedies. We have a blast. We have a good time, so you might want to check that out. But this week, Jimmy, God, do we have a mess this week.
Good.
Just a complete disaster. Last week, hope you enjoyed that, where we had Tim Montgomery.
We did.
Our Olympic sprinter.
Meredith Jones's husband.
It's so funny because what we do here is most of our stories end in horrible tragedy.
Yeah.
Most of them are like, and so right now he's in and out of rehab and, or he's in prison still, or that's most of our stories. We've had like 2 stories that ended well. I think we've only had one up till last week. Willie Mays Aikens.
That's the one that got his ring back.
He got his ring back. He got his life together. He got a job.
League stuff.
He got a job. He's a Royals hitting coach.
That's right. He was actually in the majors again.
Yeah, he was got a job as a coach.
Yeah.
He's trusted again. Everybody let him back in. Right. He was the one who had such a crazy life.
Everybody let him back in.
Yeah, he had such a crazy life that the term "How is it you've come to arrive here?" that we use every week, that was said to him by an actual Mexican pimp holding 2 guns on him, and then changing his mind because he recognized him and realized how far the guy had fallen, and literally took pity on him and just said, "How is it you've come to arrive here?" in Spanish. So that's how bad it was. And last week we had another one, 50 episodes after the first one, of kind of a story that ended well for the guy. He got it together.
Fine.
He's been good for 10 years. He's got he got back with the old wife and has a family, and his business is going well, and he's a respected member of the community again.
He's a speaker now.
Yeah, and he was an Olympian, which made him, gives a little extra air of respect in America. Anyway, I don't know how it is in all the other countries, but Olympians get a little extra in terms of athletes. Like, they're not considered like the other athletes, even though they're the steroidiest of them all.
Gold medalist, though. Like when you're
a gold medalist, you're a god
gold.
here.
Like, that's what you win gold.
Exactly.
You everything else you're given. Like, second place, you're given a silver medal. The first guy fucking won.
He wins gold. He had to win the silver too, but that was last week.
You lost the silver.
You lost the gold. Yeah. That was last week, Jimmy. Where we had an uplifting story. None of that shit this week. I can promise you this week.
Good.
This week we are back.
Shit on somebody all day.
We are back in the gutter this week. Let me tell you something with a story that does not end well at all. Well, it ends funny, but not well. not well for him anyway. Well for us and you as an audience, but not well for him. Unlike Tim Montgomery, who, like we said, it ended well, which is not great. We're not okay with that. We don't like the happy endings. They're not as funny.
Right. It ended without handcuffs and without like government issued food, I guess is the word.
Yeah, and we're not afraid probably that he's going to kill us, which is a thing. Whereas this guy, not so much. I'm a little bit frightened.
Good.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Brett Rogers.
Brett Rogers.
Okay. Brett Charles Rogers, to be exact. Just Brett Rogers is what you know him as. better known as his nickname, The Grim.
Oh, boy.
Brett The Grim Rogers. He's an MMA fighter.
Okay.
And as we've known from all of our previous episodes, MMA fighters and boxers
fucking wackadoodle.
Usually the craziest people we encounter, because that many blows to the head will do it to you.
Yeah.
And it's like a sliding scale based on sport and blows to the head taken in that sport.
Yeah.
It's like MMA and boxing are at the top because they're constantly getting pummeled. Yeah. And then like football players are right beneath that.
Wrestling is right above.
Wrestling too. Wrestling and football. Yeah, it's the fighting sports, even though wrestling's not really. They hit each other with the chairs.
Hand-to-hand combat. Those sports are right above
those
football.
three, and then football is right there after that. And then it really thins out when you get to like baseball and soccer, and it's like, oh boy, those people they're practically upstanding citizens compared to that. They haven't carved anybody up.
Right.
Although the soccer player Bruno Fernandes de Sousa did. And bodybuilders too go a little wacky. We've seen a lot of wacky bodybuilders.
Baseball players tend to diddle kids.
Yeah, that's weird.
That seems to be,
they like
seems
them young.
To be a thing.
I don't understand that. That's strange. But let's get into the grim here. Brett Rogers, he's born February 17th, 1981.
Yeah.
He's born in Chicago, Illinois. He grows up in a terrible
He is younger
area.
than me.
He's younger than you. He's younger than both of us. Grows up in a terrible area of Chicago. And this was in the 80s when Chicago was basically every inner city was a war zone in the 80s. This was mid-crack epidemic.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was just the murder rates were insane. In Chicago now, we know the murder rates are very high. But this was, I remember in the 80s in New York, they would have 3,500 murders a year.
Is that
in New York,
right?
they have 600 now. Jesus. So, I mean, that and they have more people now.
Yeah.
So that tells you kind of,
It may be awful now, but it was way worse at one time.
Way worse.
Yeah.
And Chicago thinks it's bad now.
Yeah.
Not shit compared to this. This is like...
Seems like every 30 or 40 years they have a big fucking... like they had the mob.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then that all calmed down. Then we got to the late
Crack.
70s, early 80s with crack. And then we get now... what do you think this is? Is this gang wars or is this just meth problems? Or
This is drug
drugs
territory.
Again?
Drugs
now?
are big money. Yeah, drugs are big money. I don't know. Legalize them and these guys don't have a fucking business.
That's a good
That's
point.
an idea. Never mind, moving on. Okay. So... this guy here, my personal opinions here, this guy here, he's growing up, and this is the area, like, if you've seen the Chappelle Show, when they did the, remember the Bill Curtis A&E, special about the gang wars in Chicago, and the guys had, this is what they were making fun of. This is how bad it was, like, how crazy this is. He, at one point, lived in Cabrini Green, which is most notorious of these projects that people who don't live in Chicago know of a project. You know, that's a shit. Yeah, that's a shit project. When people don't even. It sounds
lovely, though.
It sounds great. Yeah, it sounds like there's
Cabrini
fountains.
Green sounds amazing.
I see fountains.
Yeah, I see golf courses and white people in khakis.
No,
not
they'd
anything
be
like that.
Killed immediately anywhere near
at minimum, robbed.
Oh God, yeah, probably just killed though because everyone's killed here. It's not even a race thing. It's like, well, we kill everybody else. Might as well kill this fucking guy, I guess. So very bad, very dangerous, very gang. Yeah, just gangs everywhere, drug gangs mainly, the whole deal. Grows up in all over the city, south and west sides, though only in the shit neighborhoods. Okay. If there's a shit neighborhood, this guy lived in it at one point. Yeah. Huge, like we said, crack epidemic. Every neighborhood he was in was super dangerous. He was always big. He grows up, and he's big early. He grows up to be 6'5", 265.
Sweet Jesus.
He is a monster,
that would
this
be amazing.
Guy. He's a big dude.
I want to be that big.
Well, he's an inch taller than me, but he has 70 pounds on me. He's a fucking monster, this man. It's crazy. So he is doing that. He's got two younger brothers also.
Okay.
He often had to come to the aid of his younger brothers. Of course. Because who doesn't at that point? And he didn't want his younger brothers getting picked on.
When you're a little guy and you've got a big brother that's fucking
huge.
Big, you always go
tough.
with, I will call my brother.
Yes, exactly.
You want to fuck around? You want to get crazy?
But this is he's trying to keep his brothers from getting shot, basically, too. And he doesn't want to get shot, but he'll defend his little brothers because he's huge. And, he's the type of guy, he's so big and shit that, the gangs and they would want to recruit him.
Of course.
They'd be like, hey, man, what are you doing?
You
know, and he wasn't really into it. He was kind of just wasn't into the gang thing, was more into his family and taking care of his brothers and that sort of thing.
All right.
He said about sticking up for his brothers, let's do it in their own words.
Great.
Let's do this early. This is about a time when his younger brothers were being beaten up and bullied by some kids, and he came in to help them out, let's just say.
Okay.
In their own words, quote, it just kind of broke out into a fight. I'm the type that if I can't win it with my hands, I'm going to pick something up and bust you upside the goddamn head. To this day, I don't know what happened, and there was a lot of blood involved, and I just didn't care. To this day, you ain't going to punk me around or try to boss me or whatever it is. I'm the pack leader of my own. I'm not a pushover. Trust me.
Jesus.
That's our introduction to this guy.
He's a lone wolf, and he'll fight to the end.
He'll fight to the goddamn death. He's a weird guy, too. One thing I have to say about this, like all of these interviews, that was in their own words. I can bring this up now. He's not charismatic. What he says on paper sounds like something. It sounds like oh, this guy must be charismatic, or he must deliver it with a plum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Charles Bennett would say crazy shit.
Yeah.
Or we had James Kirkland even was a good shit talker a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Guys like that. This isn't. When you read it, you're like, oh, man, I bet he's a real boisterous, But then when he says it like so
matter of fact
and boring that you're just like, he has no personality.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, yeah, there's a lot of blood and I just didn't care. To this day, you ain't going to punk me or try to boss me or whatever it is. Like, that's how he talks. And you're just like, what you're saying and how you're saying it don't fucking match at all.
You've got
dude.
no personality mixed into this amazing statement.
Absolutely. The area was so bad. He only lived 4 blocks from his school, but the way he put it, he said 4 blocks turned into 10 blocks because you had to take certain turns, certain streets you couldn't walk on just because you weren't from that street or from that block. So that's a gang thing, and that's a neighborhood thing. Is you couldn't? Well, I'm not. You can't walk down that street because you'll get beat up.
You're wearing the wrong color.
You're wearing you're in the wrong place.
Right.
So that's a crazy way to live. So this goes all the way on until he's age 12. So he's 12 years old. This all happened when he's below 12. He's pummeling kids and having blood everywhere and not giving a shit about it, which is an odd thing for a 10-year-old, but whatever. When he's 12, his grandmother invites him to live with her in Minnesota, which is completely a different world.
That's a culture shock at minimum.
I would say,
but that may keep him a little safer. You know what I mean? Like,
that was the
at
thing.
Minimum.
That's what all it was for. It was like
just to keep him from fighting.
He was the Fresh Prince of St. Paul. We'll call him. That's what he was. He's the Fresh Prince of St. Paul. Like that scuffle on the basketball court, and he got sent to live with his mom. He said that it was a simple conversation. He said that his grandmother said, "Baby, you want to come with me?" And he said, "You know what? Yeah,
sure."
And he said the way she explained it, it sounded like a better place. It sounded like heaven, which she said, yeah, you don't have to walk 10 blocks when it's only 4 because no one will stab you there.
I'll send a cab with a dice in the mirror your way.
Yeah, that's it right here. And here he goes, the Fresh Prince of St. Paul, man. His mother never drove even because they were so just inner city, never drove, still didn't drive, never learned to drive. Yeah. He said that his world basically only extended 10 blocks in each direction as a child. Like he never got out of his neighborhood. He was that type of guy. He was like on The Wire. Again, on The Wire, when they take the kids somewhere, and he didn't understand that Bodie didn't understand that radio stations go out when you leave the city. Because they started getting staticky. He started getting staticky. He's like, man, why is the radio all fucked up? What's going on? And the dude's like, it's a Baltimore station, man. We're getting out of the city. He's
We're
like,
in Florida.
He goes, there's different radio stations for different cities?
Holy shit.
He didn't know because he'd never been out of the city. And that's what you get. If you limited education and never getting away 10 blocks away from your house, you might be a little confused. He said moving to Minnesota was, quote, a lot different. As I would imagine. He said the big thing was he was now surrounded by white people. And he said he'd never, seen any white people. Like he'd never had any real contact with white people living in inner city Chicago. There's no white people. So he said, other than TV, I didn't see any white people.
That's hilarious.
So this was a shock for me, culture shock. So he's not Will Smith.
No.
He didn't show up in like a brightly colored Hawaiian shirt like, hey, how you doing?
His head was swiveling around.
Yeah, hey, Hillary. This is not this guy. This guy he's hardened and he's a little, he's a little more rugged than Will Smith.
I would say
let's just say.
Yeah.
He goes to Harding High School in St. Paul after that. Now, Harding High School has a comedy connection. Mitch Hedberg graduated from Harding High School in 1986. So, that's their big claim to fame, as Mitch Hedberg is from here. So, as you can tell, mild, I would describe the people as, if Mitch Hedberg is any representation of them. Calm and mild, very much so. So, he goes to Harding High. He plays basketball. He plays football. He just enjoys the general... he's an athlete. He's a big kid, and they're more than happy to put. If you're 6'5", 260, and you're in high school, you're on the offensive line. They don't care if you can play or not. They'll teach you to block. Just get down there. We need kids that size. And I'm sure, too, he had a little mean streak in him that a lot of these kids probably didn't have, which is also helpful in sports.
Yeah, when you're vicious and you're fucking mean, and you can hurt people with zero conscience. Yeah,
they want you on the football team.
You're going to be a good football player.
Yeah, like, let's get that guy. So, yeah, football, basketball. He begins dating a woman. Mm-hmm. He begins dating Tijuana. Mm-hmm. Tiuana.
You bet.
Tijuana without the J, pretty much, is what this is. So he begins dating Tijuana here. Tijuana, I'm going to call her Tijuana repeatedly because I'm an idiot, and it just,
and also,
my brain wants to see
it just
Tijuana.
Goes right there.
It goes to it.
You don't want to see Tijuana.
No, we've seen Tijuana.
It is bad news.
It's bad. So yeah, he begins dating her now, and this time he's 18, starts dating Tijuana here. He goes on to attend, he goes to a junior college, and, so I mean, he's going to college. Yeah. No one expected that a long time ago when he was
in Cabrini Green.
In Cabrini Green. Right. Not a lot of those kids are going to college, so he's going to junior college. Yeah. He begins... Now, in college, he starts practicing, taking up, and dicking around with Taekwondo. Okay. He starts getting into the combat a little bit, sport type thing.
How to actually condition yourself to fight and actually have good form
and he finds
when you knock somebody out.
Exactly, and he finds it fun. He's like, this is kind of fun,
That's a dangerous human being.
Yeah, well, he's a big, giant guy.
A big, giant guy that's having fun.
Fun pummeling people. He can beat children into a bloody mess, and he's like, I didn't care. Fuck him.
Like, fuck it all. When you're that good at fighting and you're enjoying it, that's a terrifying
scary.
Mixture, yeah.
And you don't even know how to do it yet.
Right.
Now you're showing the guy you're giving tools.
Right. And he's already having fun.
He already built a house without anything, and then you gave him a nice new tool set. And he's like, imagine what I could build now. Holy shit. God, I'll build a mansion. Build a fucking Taj Mahal now.
I drove those nails with my fists.
I just took my shoe off and used my heel. I didn't know what I was doing.
You gave me a hammer?
God damn, I like it. So, yeah, he starts practicing that. Between about 2000 and 2004, he starts... he starts really getting into fighting. He liked the Taekwondo. He starts practicing a little Muay Thai, a little of this, a little of that, a little boxing, and he starts competing in tough man contests.
Okay.
He competes in about 15 tough man contests through this time period up till about 2004. So he's kind of getting into it. God, I'd hate to sign up and see that guy across the ring from me.
15 of them?
15 tough man bouts he had throughout this time. And from everything I've seen, once he started fighting, he had a mohawk.
Okay.
And it's just no hair, mohawk on top.
Like a low boy one or like a tall one?
No, not like an English punk rocker from 1981. Not a big spiky multicolored one. Just a Mr. T without the sides.
Okay.
Just a mohawk. So he's a giant 6'5", 265-pound dude with a fucking crazy haircut.
Menacing looking gentleman.
He looks like a crazy person.
Yeah.
So as he's doing this, he starts realizing that he's got interest in mixed martial arts. He starts seeing that, and he's like, maybe I want to start fighting there. Maybe I want to do this. He begins MMA training with Team Bison, which was based out of Bloomington, Minnesota. It's in the garage of a guy named Mike Riley, who was the head trainer for this whole thing.
Okay.
So he starts training with this guy, and he wants to do MMA fights as a hobby,
In a fucking garage.
In a garage. Well, it's better than what he does for a living, which is he is a tire changer at Sam's Club. So... he's a tire changer at Sam's Club during the day because, Sam's, if you don't know, Sam's Club is like a big warehouse store that's owned by Walmart, and they do they do auto mechanics there. They do tire changes and oil changes and all that kind of shit.
If you remember. If you pay a fee every year, they'll do a discount oil change.
I was going to say, they'll do an oil change and still charge you,
right.
but you have to pay for that privilege. So he's working there during the day, changing tires at Sam's Club, and then at night he's going and learning how to pummel people in a garage. So... you got to respect the hustle, at least. You got to respect the hustle. Also, in 2001, he has a child with Tijuana. They will have 3 children total together, but they have their first child, a little girl, in 2001. So he's got a wife.
Yeah.
He's got, I believe, only one child at this point, a wife and a child. He's working at Sam's Club, changing tires, going at night, learning how to beat the shit out of people in some guy's garage in Bloomington.
This sounds like a great life.
It sounds like we're building a Rocky story, doesn't it? It really does. And I'll let you know when it's Grace. Yeah. But we're building a Rocky story. This is what I mean. We're building a story that people have interest in.
Yeah.
People love the story of a fighter. That's why when you watch HBO as a 24/7, the fights, the boxing, for the fights that are coming up, they have a thing called 24/7 where they have a series of shows leading up to it. It's like a documentary cut up into pieces leading up to it. And it could be people you don't give a shit about. You still want to watch that because you want to watch the fight because you've invested in these people. Yeah. They love a story. Oh, this guy, he came from a village with no running water and all of his siblings died from a disease that he had but survived. Right. But it left him with, a left leg that didn't work right, but he conditioned it extra through boxing in his car. And then next thing you know,
chemical compound makeup in his brain is all off and he doesn't feel pain.
He doesn't feel pain.
It's fucking bananas.
Watch him fight a guy whose mother was taken away by, stormtroopers in the middle of the night. And he's like, they do this shit. I don't know, some sort of government hit squad, South America, I'm thinking, like a Venezuelan, team came into the night and took her. That's what I'm figuring.
Stormtroopers.
Some stormtroopers came in. It's like Poppy on Seinfeld when they took my mother in the middle of the night. It's like one of those. Like I feel like that's the stories they give you, and you're like, fuck, I got to see if this guy, avenges his mother's death against this other boxer who's never met.
Who feels no pain.
Who feels no pain and has a left leg that's a little off. So that's what's going on here. So at night, he's doing that. 2005, early 2005, he marries Tijuana.
Yeah.
Tijuana. I'm going to call her Tijuana. Her name's fucking Tijuana for the rest of the episode. Sorry, Tijuana. Tijuana. I know your name is Tijuana, but my brain wants to say Tijuana, and we're calling you Tijuana.
We have to stick with that.
So, they get married early 2005. They're going to end up having, like I said, 3 children total together. He has his first professional MMA fight on July 30th, 2005.
Uh-huh.
This fight takes place in Ellsworth, Minnesota, which is where all of the great fighters start.
Yes.
Yeah, everywhere you've heard.
Yeah.
Right, Muhammad Ali started in Ellsworth, Minnesota.
That's what I'm told.
Rocky Marciano, Ellsworth.
Prince's first paying gig was there.
I believe it was. That's actually possible. That's actually possible. But Ellsworth, Minnesota, it is at the event is called UCS, which is Ultimate Combat Sports, is the name of the company, which has no link on Wikipedia or really no information anywhere. Ultimate Combat Sports Throwdown at the T-Bar. So this is a fight in a bar. This is like when we would do open mics or we would do that show at Toso's and they'd have fight night and there's a bunch of crazy guys running around punching walls and screaming at each other and you're like, what is happening?
And there's a fight ring set up in the back.
And they fight in the parking lot.
It's crazy.
That's the type of deal we're going with.
I don't ever want to see those ever again.
These are crazy people. It's his debut fight.
Hold on. Not just the people that do it, the people that come watch it.
The people that watch it are sicker than the people that do it.
Crazy.
You want to watch non-professional fighters,
unsanctioned, unprofessional,
beat each other up in a parking lot.
And I don't even know if there's medical professionals on site.
I never once saw anybody that looked like they had spent one day in medical school. Not one.
And somebody's going to get their ass kicked right now, and you people are cheering it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the type of thing that we're like, well, what are we going to do for like a medical staff? And the guy was like, my sister went to nursing school for like 3 weeks.
I got a cousin.
Perfect, bring her in.
I got a cousin knows CPR.
Yeah, my sister, she was going to be one of them people that takes your blood, but she didn't really like it, so she quit. Like, well, they must have taught her some shit. Bring her in, she'll be fine. He fights a guy named Stan Strong in his debut fight.
There's always a Strong.
That's a good sounding name, Stan Strong. Stan Strong is not very strong though. Stan Strong has a career 0-1 record, and this is his one.
Really?
He loses in 13 seconds. Brett knocks him out in 13 seconds. The Grim this guy has a grim ending.
Yeah.
This is his only MMA fight.
And that's the end of his fighting career?
If you get knocked out in 13 seconds in your first fight, I think you go, maybe I didn't want to do this. Maybe that was wrong.
I'm not cut out for this shit.
Yeah, maybe I should say no. Maybe I'm, no. I think I'm going to go do something else. Anything else. I'm going to go 10 bar, possibly. I'm going to play like a pickup game of basketball at the Y. I think maybe I'll try that.
I'm going to go find something where my last name Strong is obvious that's what I'm good at.
It's almost a shame.
Yeah.
That he's with a name like Stan Strong.
You don't want to fight and be bad at it with a name like Stan Strong.
No, unfortunately, Stan was an 11-year-old girl and lost the fight in 13 seconds. He's 1-0. Brett's 1-0. It is. Stan is 0-1, and that's all he'll ever be. May 3rd, 2006. So he waits 10 months to fight again. This is what I mean. He's got a day job.
Yeah.
So he's doing this shit. He's got his wife, and he's got kids coming. He's got all this stuff. And then he's like, well, whatever. I guess I'll fight again. So it's not a priority right now for him. It's just he's doing it on the side, dicking around. May 3rd, 2006, in Minnesota, he fights at EFX Fury. That's the name of the card. EFX, the name of the company. Do you know what that stands for, Jimmy?
Something extreme.
It stands for Extreme Fighting Extreme.
You've got to be shitting me.
Extreme with an E and then Extreme with an X.
In the midst of naming their company, they forgot how to spell extreme.
They forgot how to spell extreme from that. That word fighting was a bridge too far.
It really fucked them over.
Unbelievable. Extreme Fighting Extreme. That Jesus. Is someone named their company that. Wow. He fights a non-linker. Again, we're going to get into the non-linkers. A lot of non-linkers here.
You know it.
I found everything about all of them anyway, but
anybody that fights in EFX is definitely a non-link fighter.
Pretty much.
Nobody that's good started there except for him.
Except for Brett, yeah. EFX, like I said, Extreme Fighting Extreme.
Stupid.
Fury is the name of the thing. He fights Chris Clark, who's, like I said, non-linker. Chris Clark, though, is a 6'1", 330-pounder.
Whoa,
he's a big, fat fuck. He's a big Butterbean type, if you remember Butterbean. He's like a smaller Butterbean. He's just a.
And who was the fuck with the flames tattoo on it? Bam Bam.
Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bigelow
Butterbean
looked like
was
that too.
Boxer.
Yeah. Butterbean was the American flag guy with the big fat blockhead.
Bam Bam was a wrestler. Bam Bam was a great athlete.
He was a mean fuck.
He was a great athlete,
but he was fat as shit.
So he's fighting a 330-pound Butterbean wannabe who has a 6-30 career record.
Really,
Butterbean here, Chris Clark.
He gets his ass whooped a lot.
Brett pummels him. Absolutely pummels him. Basically, it took 37 seconds to hit him enough times for the guy not to be able for the ref to stop it. I feel like this fight could have been 12 seconds long. Could have beat the other one by 1 second. But 37 seconds it takes.
So he is now 47 seconds into fighting, and he has 2 victories.
And he's got 2 victories over an 11-year-old girl, and Chris was actually a 10-year-old boy. So the age-old question of who's tougher, a 10-year-old boy or an 11-year-old girl, goes unanswered. Well, although I guess it's advantage 10-year-old boy because he went an extra 20 seconds.
He took it
a little longer. Wow. So November 1st, 2006, he's fighting in Minneapolis again for Extreme Fighting Extreme Fury. They don't even name their cards different things.
They just keep
every card is named Fury. He fights
not even Fury 1, Fury 2, Fury 3.
No, that's not even numbered.
Just Fury.
It's a Fighting Extreme Fury. He fights Brian Heaton, who has a career 30-16 record.
That's not bad.
He actually did some things here. Brett wins by KO again, a minute 20 seconds into this fight. So now he's 3-0.
These fights are going longer, though.
2 minutes. Well, this guy's 30-16. The other guy never had a fight.
We got 2:07 on the timer, though, and he's got 3 wins.
And he's got 3 wins, all and probably some brain damage given, we'll say. Especially to Stan. I don't think he's used to taking blows to the head.
Contusion or 2.
Definitely, absolutely. December 17th, 2006. Now it's a month later.
Yep.
So he went from waiting like a year or 10 months between fights, and then he went from May to November, now November into December.
They got a quick turnaround.
Yeah, now because they're starting to go, hey, let's bring him back again.
We can make some money off that guy.
We can make crowds will like to see. One thing crowds love to see are big guys knock each other out. I mean,
and
that's
fast.
That's boxing. Yeah,
they love fast fights.
They do.
Even when Tyson would knock somebody out fast, they were like, "We got ripped off." There was very few people saying we got ripped off. Everybody else is like, "That was great, so fast."
You got ripped off. I used to hate that too. You got ripped. I remember the Spinks fight that was like 90 seconds. Like we got ripped off, and it's like the other guy had the other belt. It's not like they picked a guy up off the street and said, "Come fight Mike Tyson."
He whipped his ass fair and square fast and ripped his belt from him too.
Half the experts thought he was going to win. Thought Spinks was going to beat Tyson. You didn't get ripped off.
No.
The guy's just an animal. But
you got exactly what you paid for. Throwing punches and trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, especially when you start out like this. And you're just coming in ripping through people. And all of these guys who are good later probably started out as the guy who just ripped through people, no problem. Now, December 17th, 2006, so like I said, now it's the next month. He fights Mark Racine. He's a career 0-3 fighter.
Oh boy!
So not going great for him. Shocking, he did not win this. It takes Brett 2 minutes and 35 seconds to knock him out, though. So I don't know if the guy maybe he danced around. Maybe he had seen the Smith fight or the Strong
Caught
fight.
Some game tape
He's
somewhere.
like, hey, listen, I don't want to. Yeah, he might have been at the T-bar for that one. Throw down at the T-bar.
Figured out a little bit of some defense.
Back off and jog away a little bit. So that's December 2006. Now, February 2007, he's already fighting again. Now he's like on a monthly. He took the holiday off there. He's right back in here. He fights in Minnesota. It's Extreme Fighting Extreme Fury again. He fights Josh Melcher. Josh Melichar. It doesn't matter. He's a 5-1 career record. 5-1 though. This is his last fight though, because Brett wins by KO in 12 seconds.
Holy shit!
And this guy doesn't fight anymore. He wins his first 5, gets beat by him, and he's like,
12
That's
seconds.
It.
I'm
That's
hanging it the fuck up.
That's good.
That's how vicious of a puncher this guy is.
He's retired like 3 people so far. They're like,
and
maybe I don't want to
6.
fight. But yeah, well, it feels like they're like not real. This is like you're not. You have a day job still. So this is something you could be like, yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. This is like an open micer comic who's like, hey, he stops going to the open mics.
He got heckled once. And
he's like, I bombed that one time when it didn't. I did that showcase and it didn't go well, and I'm done now. That sort of thing. So. This guy, he's done 12 seconds. I don't even know if he realized he was in a fight or what. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a great point. 12 seconds go by in a blink.
Like, he was like texting somebody, and the next thing you know, he was knocked out. He's like, was I in a fight? What happened? Like, he didn't even know where he was. I came to get a Slurpee, and then
12 seconds. There's
out.
Not much you can do in 12 seconds more important than getting your ass kicked.
The fight starts, and they're not touching each other when the fight starts. They're on opposite sides of the ring. So
you
then they have
walk.
to walk.
That's 4 seconds.
Because they bounce at each other. That's like 4 seconds. And then this was like they kind of squared up and first shot done down.
You jostle for an opportunity to punch, and then it's over.
I feel like Brett took one swing. Yeah. This guy went, holy shit, that was dangerous, covered up, and then he just pummeled him until they stopped it. That's how I feel like it was. They were like, never mind. Never mind.
Did I catch him? No. Now you're being woken up.
Sorry. He's 5-0 at this point. He's 5-0, doing well.
5 wins.
5 wins.
Fast.
Never been out of the first round. He's got like 5 minutes of ring time so far.
Yeah, he's never even been back in his corner.
Never. He doesn't even have a corner with him. He doesn't even bring people.
He's never even been toweled off yet.
No.
This is amazing.
And he barely breaks 12 seconds. You don't even break a sweat. Yeah. You don't even need a shower after that. You're like, I'm just going to go home. I'll just throw my shirt on.
Yeah.
Meet you in the car. I don't know. You want to go out to dinner after this? I mean, what are we doing
The
here?
mouth guard doesn't even have saliva in it yet.
Yeah, I don't even think he put it in. He's just like, I don't need a mouth guard. I'm going to just punch this guy a couple times and go home.
He's not going to punch me.
No. So he's starting to get attention of people at this point. 5-0, knocking people out in 12 seconds. He signs with a company.
Yeah.
A company signs him. Elite XC signs him. So that's
Elite Extreme.
Elite Extreme, yeah.
Combat.
Extreme Combat, yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, it's the EXC company.
Elite XC, that's what it is. Okay. So he signs with them in 2007 after February, and this allows him to quit his job at Sam's Club.
Oh.
Because now he has to actually train full time because he's going to be like, fighting on television and shit. So you kind of have to, you can't be like, oh, I can't get off today, so I can't train. I got tires are way backed up back at the Sam's Club.
And Sam's Club now has to buy a jack or a lift because
they don't have
he's
me
quitting
anymore.
Right.
Yeah, he usually just put it up on his back, and it was done there. So he quits his job. He's a full-time fighter now.
Jesus.
So he came from Sam's Club, dicking around, doing throwdown at the T-bar, beating up 11-year-old girls. He's doing all this, and now he's made his way. This is a story. This is
rags to riches.
This is rags to riches.
This is very Cinderella
this is Rocky
Man.
right here, man.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. This is what people want to hear.
Yeah.
It gets so much worse, but for a while it's good.
Right now it's going well.
For a minute it's fine. It really is. So he fights his first fight for Elite XC on November 10th, 2007. The card he is fighting on is Elite XC Renegade.
Oh.
It's November 10th, 2007.
Gets to fight under a new name.
Under a new name. It's not just Fury anymore. Right. It's in Corpus Christi, Texas at the American Bank Center, which is actually a decent-sized venue. It holds about 10,000 people. Aired live on Showtime.
What?
So now he's on television.
Yeah.
He was changing tires 3 months ago.
That's amazing.
Knocking people out in a bar under a company name of Extreme Fighting Extreme, and now he's actually on television.
Changing tires, like not just...
This is real.
At a Walmart supercenter. That's what Sam's Club is.
He didn't own a little service shop. He was making $10 an hour
for
changing
Sam
tires.
Walton's shit company.
Yeah, making $10 an hour probably, if that, changing tires, trying to support a wife and a kid.
Right.
Tijuana needs more than that.
She deserves it.
She deserves it.
Poor
She's
woman's
been there
tortured her
since
whole life
the beginning.
with this fucking name.
Oh God, really? People, is it Tijuana? There's no J in there. She's getting angry. So now it's like it's legit though. Like he's like. You know what I mean? Like before it was like, oh yeah, he does that at night. Yeah, whatever. Now it's like, that's your job. You know what I mean? This is
how
crazy.
He puts food on the table.
Yeah, this is how I feel about like the podcasting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it was funny. Now it's like, hey, no, this is fucking legit.
This is
like,
something we do.
I had to quit everything else except for stand up, and this is how I fucking eat. So you know what I mean? Like this is my goddamn job now. Yeah, so it's the same thing. But I don't have to get punched in the face, which is even nicer. Unless one of these people find me, then I'm a dead fuck. So are you. Anyway,
J.R. Ryder accidentally stumbles into a comedy club.
Oh, yeah.
There's that motherfucker
right
there.
Son of a bell, recognize that voice anywhere.
That's awesome.
Bastard. Now, on this card also featured Kimbo Slice. This is where Kimbo Slice was at the time.
He's dead too.
He's dead too now. But Kimbo Slice, if you guys don't know, you've probably heard his name and you don't know what it is.
Amazing.
You're like, is that a bad sandwich place?
He was a terrible fighter, but Street Fighter, was amazing.
And when he came up, he was much like Brett, where he was just knocking people out. Yeah. Like on this night, Kimbo Slice beat a guy named Bo Cantrell in 19 seconds. That's how this guy was fighting. Yeah. So they were looking at him like, we got another Kimbo Slice on our hands. Kimbo Slice was a phenomenon in terms of interest.
Yeah.
He was a story like this, and people flocked to it. I mean, it made this company be a company that was on TV.
It was before hipsters, so he was like, he was a giant black man with this unbelievable beard.
He looked like a jacked homeless guy.
He may have started the fucking hipster craze with beards, that bastard.
He looked like a jacked homeless guy.
Did.
That's what he looked like.
He was terrifying.
He was a terrifying man.
He had no shirt on. He'd beat you to death in flip-flops and sweatpants.
In 12 seconds or 19 seconds, like poor Bo Cantrell found out. Also on this card, by the way, is Nick Diaz, who's very big now, and Conor McGregor fight and all that. Yeah. He loses by doctor stoppage in round 1 that night also.
Oh, Diaz did?
So, yeah, at the end of the round, they stopped it. But never mind them.
Isn't Diaz a pothead, too?
I don't know.
Like he's a mate. Like he's very vocal about his. I mean, no, but
good for him.
But they tell him you can't smoke weed and fight.
Like, for what? Why? Why can't he smoke weed and fight, Jimmy? Why? How is that going to fucking hurt anybody else?
That's going to get him murdered.
No, that's going to get him being able to recover from getting punched in the fucking face. Tell you what, let's put it this way. Let's look at him. Let's look at him like he's a fucking animal that's been beaten. Okay. Do you want that animal to then go out and drink a bunch of fucking whiskey with brain damage and go out angry, or do you want him to go home and get a sedative with a little bit of weed and chill the fuck out?
I don't know.
And maybe only punch the people who are in his household,
that's
not
a good
anyone
point.
outside
of it. It chills out the animal. Yeah.
You should have to fucking smoke weed in MMA. MMA should force their fighters to smoke weed. They should be given edibles.
This is bananas.
I'm not even kidding. We got to keep these guys at bay. How many fucking episodes have we done about this?
You're right.
And I didn't want to do an MMA guy because we did Charles Bennett less than 10 episodes ago. But you don't understand, Jimmy. In my list, I have a list of 100 criminals that we got to get to. MMA is a chunk of it, man. It's a huge chunk of it.
We could do an MMA month or something.
We could do an MMA 3 months. And the problem with it is none of these, it's never he got caught with weed or he got real stoned. And then it's always like, he was drunk and he beat up 14 guys in a bar and he ripped somebody's head off their shoulders.
Nearly murdered his porn star girlfriend.
Cut somebody's heart out of their chest, like in episode 53 with Jared Wyatt.
One guy almost killed his porn star girlfriend with his fists. No weapons except his fists.
We've seen it constantly. Maybe hashtag weed for MMA.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You're right.
Force them.
You're selling me.
Fuck me.
You're selling me.
And even just not to be dangerous, Conor McGregor. Somebody get that guy stoned so he'll shut the fuck up for 5 minutes.
I'm
That's
not
the
a
other
fan
thing.
of his.
I can't stand him. Jesus Christ.
I don't like him at all.
No, and I will not pay to watch him get beat up either. He can go fuck himself. All right. Now we go. Nick Diaz and his pothead, I guess, self gets beaten up. Sorry, Nick Diaz.
Maybe he was stoned that night.
Maybe he was a little stoned, doctor stoppage. But Brett fights a guy named Ralph Kelly, who doesn't sound like a fighter. No. That sounds like a character from a 50s sitcom. That's a plumber. Right. That's perfect. He's a plumber in a 50s sitcom.
That guy cleans shit pipes.
He does.
Ralph Kelly is not a fighter.
I was going to say Ralph and his wife Alice, like in fucking Honeymooners. Ralph Kelly is like, Ralph Cramden's buddy that he hangs out with. That's what he is.
Holy shit.
Brett wins by TKO in 1 minute 43 seconds of round 1. Yeah. Ralph Kelly's a 5-10 career fighter, by the way. So
he sounds like he's got the physique of fucking Mario Brothers. He doesn't look. Well, I'm not afraid of him.
No, not at all. And it feels like it's Brett's first time in the promotion. It's his first fight. They want to showcase him. They're going to give him a tomato can. This is like, let's watch him knock this guy's head off, and then the crowd will go, whoa, did you see that guy knock that guy's head off? It's another Kimbo Slice, and then everyone will be great.
Does he have a beard like Kimbo?
No beard, right. No beard, just a mohawk
just
at this point here.
Lunatic mohawk.
Totally. He's feeling really good about himself right now. Obviously, he's 6-0. He's feeling great about himself. He's, life is good for this guy right now.
And now back to the show.
He's set. He has a bout set in the future against James Thompson, who's another up-and-comer. He's an Englishman. Mm-hmm. He's known as a good fighter. He looks like he is, I don't know what the word for it is. He looks like they show the fight. I watched their fight, and as they're introducing a guy, they have just like a close-up of their face the whole time while they're standing there. He does not blink.
Oh, my God.
For over 2 minutes.
What?
This James Thompson guy. He stands there. His eyes aren't right. He looks like a guy who's like a little slow to begin with, and it looks like somebody bashed him in the head with an anvil and then turned him around to face the camera. Like he looks
he's just dazed?
He doesn't know where he is. He shows no emotion and doesn't blink until they finally say his name, and then he punches himself in the chest like a psychopath a couple of times.
What the fuck?
He's a nutcase, this James Thompson guy. But in the week before the fight, Brett starts saying that Thompson has a weak jaw. He starts talking all sorts of shit, and he keeps just saying, this guy's got a weak jaw because he got knocked out a couple of times. Okay. He's like, you got a weak jaw, you got a weak jaw. In response, Thompson, rather than talking shit back, he just he described Brett as, quote, a big, scary black guy. That's how he described him. He said, he's a big, scary black guy. And then they asked, well, what do you think about Thompson? And Rogers was like, got a weak-ass jaw. So you can see where this fight's going.
Yeah.
Somebody is scared and somebody's
going to die.
Yeah. So before the Thompson fight, we have an in their own words here from Brett, in their own words, quote, I feel like this is what I was born to do. I don't never want to lose. I don't want to lose at nothing. Thompson seems like his confidence is going down. I'm going to make sure that on the 16th, that's going to go down even further. The 17th is my birthday, so this is like my birthday gift to me. I'm going to bring it. I want it real bad, man, real bad.
He doesn't lose at anything, but English is kicking his ass right
now. English is whooping his ass, yeah. He don't never want to lose. He don't never want to lose at nothing. Right. Now, that's just tell you right now. Excuse me, sir, I'd like to make my opening statement. My client, he insists that he don't never want to lose, and he don't never want to lose at nothing. Now, understand? No G. I don't even use the apostrophe for him. There's nothing.
I like him a lot already.
So February 16th, 2008, he's got another fight. It's at Elite XC Street Certified is the name of the name of the card. At least they're coming up with different names. It's in Sunrise, Florida, which is Miami, basically. Yeah. He weighs in at 264 pounds here. He's fighting James the Colossus Thompson, as he calls himself. He's a big guy, too. 6'5", 260 is James Thompson. These are a couple of huge dudes going at it.
Trees being
scary.
whacked on
I wouldn't want to be that referee. I don't even want to be in there. This guy is, like I said, an Englishman, and he's a former debt collector. So he was a debt collector, and he likes
for the mob or for like government,
for like the government,
for
or
some
for like
company,
for like a company. Yeah. Like, and he would say, like, people, everybody better have my money, or I'll come get it from him, the type of thing. Like,
right.
He was trying to make that like he's tough.
Oh, Christ!
He's a debt collector, whatever.
But if you didn't pay your Best Buy bill and that fucker showed up looking
like all brain damaged,
I will pay for that Dell computer.
If you saw the look, if you see him in the ring just staring at you, go, good God, he looks like he's gonna eat you. Like he's contemplating on whether he wants your leg or your liver first. He can't decide.
Can't tell if he likes light or dark.
He doesn't know. Or organ meat.
Yeah.
He's just gonna scoop your heart out with his bare hand.
Do I
and
want
eat
the gizzard?
He'll find it.
Yeah.
Trust me. This fight starts quickly. These two bum rush each other.
Like fucking antelope?
Like antelope attacking each other. Thompson's strategy is you can tell he does not want to. He's a boxing guy, Thompson, too. He's a thrower. He throws hands. He's a striker, and he does not want to stand up and fight Brett.
Really?
He goes right for the waist and tries to take him down and tries to wrestle him.
He'd rather ground and pound when he's a natural-born fighter.
Well, that, I think, was the book on Brett at this point. He's been in the ring for a grand total of 5 minutes, and all he's done is knock people out with big punches.
That's what he does, too.
So they're like, get inside, don't get hit on the way in, and take him down to the ground, and maybe you can just tie him up wrestling. We don't even know if he can wrestle because he's only had 5 minutes of...
Maybe you can put him in a guillotine.
There's not a lot of film study on this here. They hold each other for a while as Thompson tries to take him down. It's a lot of holding. They tumble to the mat. It's just a homoerotic grappling session. That's all it is. It's just... They're not even like doing anything. They're just like holding each other.
Jockeying for position. And...
jockeying for something. Yeah. There's something going on with the jock. There's holding for 2 straight minutes.
Really?
2 minutes of them just holding and rubbing, and it's getting romantic at this point.
Somebody's getting hard.
At this point, Rogers breaks away. he starts trying to throw punches because the whole time he's trying to get away so he can throw punches.
Yeah.
He breaks away, starts throwing punches. Thompson jumps on him again, and they're back down on the mat. Brett gets to his feet, gets some distance by kneeing Thompson in the face.
Ouch.
Takes 2 steps back and absolutely lights Thompson up with a 5-punch combination.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Topped off at the end with a big right hand that knocked the guy out. And before the guy could even fall, he also hit him with a left hook.
Wow.
And this guy is just, I mean, it's over, man. He hits him
those.
a lot and
I
hard.
I love when people get rung and then their hands drop. And the ref does nothing, and they have like that 2-second chance.
This wasn't even 2 seconds.
Really?
This was a half a second chance.
And he just dropped another
This was a
one
5-punch combo. This is in slow motion. You can see that's what happened.
Oh,
but
boy.
In the fight, it just you can't even tell what was the last punch. It happened so fast. It's like, wow, he just got hit a whole shitload of times, and it didn't work out well for him at all. That's
that last one, when the bell's already rung, and that last hammer comes down, those are awesome to watch.
Yeah, this guy hits hard,
Yeah.
Brett. He's not a technical master or anything. He's not going to go out there and beat like a prime Lennox Lewis or anything in a heavyweight boxing competition. But holy shit, if he hits you with tiny gloves on, he'll thump your ass.
He can throw some cinder blocks.
Yeah, this is a knockout in 2 minutes and 24 seconds total. Goes to 7-0. Post-fight, he has an interview with Goldberg, the wrestler.
Oh, God.
Goldberg is their in-ring interview guy who's a wrestler from the 90s. Goldberg asks him about Brett saying that the guy had a weak chin. He's like, now, you've been saying all week that he had a weak chin and whatever. So we have an in their own words on this. In their own words, Brett says, quote, I don't think I have to say anything, man. It shows for itself today. So the crowd starts booing him. He goes, they may be booing me, but the guy was down. You know what I mean? Wobble, wobble. And he walks away.
Wobble, wobble.
Wobble, wobble.
I like it.
That's the way he
Call
ends
back
it.
that old 504 Boys song. Is that what it was? 504 Boys? I think so.
I have no idea. But yeah, the crowd, as soon as he starts saying this, though, it shows for himself. The crowd starts booing him. Like, hey, don't be a dick. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
But he's like, what, wobble, wobble. So May 31st, 2008, we're in Newark, New Jersey. Oof, Garden Center there.
Yeah.
Newark, New Jersey, at the Prudential Center. So they need a big venue there. This is on, I think that's where the Nets used to play before they moved to Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. This is on CBS national television. So this is nationally televised. I think 6 million people watched this fight. This is huge. I mean, good God, for a guy that was changing tires. It is Elite XC Prime Time.
Oh, boy.
Is this. On this card, Kimbo Slice pummels James Thompson in 38 seconds.
All right.
So James Thompson's having a bad couple months.
No, he has to fight the second coming of Kimbo.
And then Kimbo.
And then he fights the real Kimbo.
In a 3-month time period.
Ouch.
So this guy's had the shit knocked out of him. This Elite XC deal here, like I said, we're on prime time. Brett fights John Man of Faith Murphy.
Yeesh.
This guy actually appeared on multiple times on the TV show Bully Beatdown. Do you remember this show?
No.
I think it was on like MTV 7 or something. It was literally on one of the lesser MTVs. There would be a show about a kid was getting bullied by somebody,
and they bring in a professional fighter.
They bring in an
what
MMA
the fuck?
fighter, and this is the catch. The bully, if he agrees to like go in the ring with this guy, he gets money. Okay. So he'll get like money if they gets the shit beaten out of him for a certain amount of time. I believe that's how the show works.
And the kid that gets bullied gets a legit fucking trainer that fights.
They get the fighter the MMA guy fights the
bully.
Oh
my God! No,
he beats up the bully.
What the fuck kind of show is this?
They put a bully in a ring with an MMA fighter. That's what they do. They're like, oh yeah, you're a bully. We'll have to fight this guy, and then you get to see some like 17-year-old kid get choked out with his own arm in like fucking 4 seconds, and you're like, what just happened?
He gets his own hand shoved up his own ass.
Yeah, so this guy has appeared on this show multiple times. John because he's a man of faith.
A man of faith.
So he's got to beat up teenagers.
Beat the shit out of kids.
He wants to beat up teenagers. So whatever. He's got a 6-4 career record.
He probably has beaten up more kids than he has fucking grown men.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's crazy.
It's a 6-4 record, so he's only beaten up 6 grown men. I didn't see how many episodes of Bully Beatdown he was on. I saw it was a couple.
I actually want to see that show now. That's a fucked up show.
It's a weird show.
That's fucked up.
At the same time, you're like, this isn't right. No. Like, is this what we're going for here? I don't think this is teaching him anything. I think you're just teaching him how to choke people. I think you're just teaching this kid how to choke people more efficiently. That's all he's doing. He's going to be a better bully next time now. You're just teaching him technique. This is we don't need to teach this guy technique.
What a terrible show.
Holy shit. Brett beats him in 1 minute, 1 second in round one. So this guy got his own bully beat down here. Brett is now 8-0. 8-0. Now, in October of 2008, this is when the Elite XC takes a big blow here. October 4th, 2008, Kimbo Slice loses into an early knockout. Do you remember when this happened? Everyone went, whoa.
Yeah,
it was a replacement fighter.
Is that what happened?
He was supposed to fight somebody else, a guy named Seth Petrozelli. Comes in, this next fighter who's a replacement fighter, and knocks Kimbo out super early.
I remember that.
And that ruined the whole Kimbo thing.
The whole Kimbo thing was done.
The whole Kimbo industry, and at this point it was an industry, and they had TV deals based on it, was over in
because the idea was he could kill anybody.
Yep, and he was this badass, and if he gets knocked out in the first round, well, no one wants to see that now. Now it's over.
So much for your fundamental skills in fighting, and you knowing how to fight. This guy's a street fighter, and he'll beat absolutely anybody. That was the whole theory behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he lost.
And this fucked up the company, too, because it drew a ton of attention to the fight, this happening. And then Petrozelli said that he was offered a monetary bonus to, quote, employ certain techniques during the fight. He later recanted these quotes, but I think that was, I don't know if it's true or not. To do certain things in the fight, he was, I don't know if he was, what I'm going to say, employ certain techniques. I'm going to say make it go a little longer, or, get knocked out at a certain time, or whatever the case may be. They were maybe trying to influence him in how he fought in the ring. To try to.
So what he's saying is he didn't do any of it.
He's saying he didn't do it, and this raised the question about influence by Elite XC executives in fights, like whether they're, like we always say, MMA is fixed. This is why we fucking say that, because why wouldn't they try to do that?
Yeah, of course. It builds storyline.
Let's just see what happens and risk all of our money in future. Let's just see what happens. There's a couple of guys. This guy worked at Sam's Club a few months ago, so I'm going to put this $1 billion company in all our financial futures. Let's just put it in his hands and hope he does well.
On his shoulders.
Hope he trained well and everything goes fine. No, they're going to try to fix it. It's fucking business.
Dana White's got mortgages to pay for.
No shit. A lot of them probably.
Yeah.
So this ends up screwing up the whole Elite thing here. It causes the cancellation of the November 8th fight they were supposed to have, 2008. The Florida State Athletic Commission launches a huge investigation into that fight, and Pro Elite, who's the parent company, announced on October 20th, 2008 that they would cease operations. So October 4th, they had the hottest thing in the world. They were on CBS national television, going to have another big card.
Yeah.
Kimbo Slice is the biggest thing in the world. Literally 3 weeks later, they are not a business anymore.
Wow.
They are not a fucking business anymore.
And that's what fixing
3 weeks.
Right. And that's why you fix shit.
Shit, it's 2 weeks. It's not even 3. It's 16 days.
Yeah.
16 days later, they don't have a business rather than having the hottest thing in the world.
And
that's how fast it is.
There's a business complex somewhere with no more. Never mind.
Yeah. Now, April 1st, 2009, he's got to fight again, right?
Jesus.
So he signs with Strikeforce, which is a huge Strikeforce, is a big company. Yeah.
They got shorts everywhere with people with their name
definitely
on it.
And UFC was controlling this at some point because Dana White had a say in this.
I think Strikeforce still sponsors people that fight in the UFC.
Okay, that's what it is, because this was, we'll get into this in a minute, but April 1st, 2009, this is at Strikeforce Shamrock versus Diaz.
Okay.
This is the first card under the Strikeforce banner. This is when it came on because they acquired all the assets from Elite XC.
Gotcha.
All the defunct ones, they picked up all their contracts.
I liked Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, this isn't Ken Shamrock.
This is
Frank
brother?
Shamrock.
That's his brother, right?
I don't know. I don't know anything about his family. It probably his brother. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, but Nick, another wrestler, Ken Shamrock. Yeah. But Nick Diaz fights Frank Shamrock, and I know Ken Shamrock was way heavier than a middleweight or a welterweight or whatever. So he wouldn't have been fights Frank Shamrock. Anyway, this is at the it's in San Jose, California, at the HP Pavilion. So this is a huge venue. This is where they play basketball. 14,000 people are there live in the crowd. This draws 14,000 people.
Wow,
so that's a really good. I mean, that's better than the Sacramento Kings would draw up there, I'm sure. So not too shabby. It airs on Showtime because they keep the contract also. Like Nick Diaz ends up beating Frank Shamrock that night. Okay. Did we find out? Is it his brother?
Definitely his brother.
Brett, on the other hand, fights a guy named he's listed in a lot of fight sites as Ron Humphrey, but in a lot of them too, his real name is Abongo.
Okay.
A Bongo.
Okay.
A Bongo Humphrey, better known as Ron, mercifully. He's a smaller guy.
Because everybody knows that Ron's short for a bongo.
Yeah, well, usually, yeah. That's my son's name is a bongo, Jimmy. We called him Ron for years. You know that. This is a smaller guy. He's a 6-footer, 205 pounds.
Yeah.
So Brett's got 5 inches and 60 pounds on this guy.
It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
This is going to be destruction.
It's 7-3 is his career record. Old Bongo here. Brett wins in 1 minute 38 seconds of round 1 with a TKO with his knees this time. He must have just grabbed him and started pummeling the shit out of him, which sounds super painful.
That's fucking crazy. I can't believe that shit's legal in that fighting.
I can't believe any of that's legal, yeah.
You can't fucking...
I can't believe you can hold a guy down and rabbit punch him either. That's fucking legal in the fucking side of the head.
You can grab his fucking hair.
That's the sport of kings. That's good stuff.
Yeah, drilling him in the face.
Wow, what a sporting contest for witnessing.
That's so strategic.
Yeah, one guy's got his fucking forearm in another guy's throat that changed tires a month ago, and he's pummeling him above his ear for fucking 10 seconds till the ref stops it.
And the other guy can't defend himself because he's still dazed from catching a knee to the actual orbital.
Yeah, no problem. That seems like
that's crazy.
Fine. That seems good.
Unbelievable.
I think. Yeah, good sport.
And people, actual fans of it will be like, well, if it should be legal, then they should learn how to defend it. Go fuck yourself. Who can defend getting kicked in the fucking face?
Yeah, well, that would be like in boxing if it said, yeah, you can just punch a guy in the balls as hard as you can. He should be able to defend it. Like, no, he's defending his face, so he can't defend his balls too. Shrink the strike zone to torso and head, please. Anyway,
kicked in the fucking head.
Knees to the head. 9-0 he is at this point, Brett Rogers. That goes to June 6, 2009, another Strikeforce fight. It's a Strikeforce Lawler versus Shields. I hope it's not Jerry the King Lawler. Throwing another wrestling reference. This is
I'd watch that, though.
I would watch that.
Absolutely.
Jerry the King Lawler getting pummeled by an MMA fighter. That'd be amazing. That'd be
no,
great.
Man, we're supposed to pretend we're getting punched.
We'll pretend, like I did with Andy Kaufman in the 80s. So, she did. He piled
Remember when I fought a comedian?
Remember that? When I fought a guy who's like 112
That's
pounds
how this is supposed
and
to go.
was dying of fucking leukemia or AIDS or lupus or some shit that made him wither to nothing. Jesus Christ
and then he
almighty.
Sued me.
And then he sued me. Well, man. So anyway,
so ridiculous.
It's so funny, man. In this fight, this was supposed to be a title fight.
Okay.
He was supposed to be going for the Strikeforce Heavyweight Championship in this fight. He was supposed to fight Alistair Overeem. Okay. And they made Overeem's a big fighter, and they made a big deal out of this fight coming up. And, he was the kid from nowhere, the tire changer, who's 9-0, and he's going to fight Overeem and try to get the title. And this was a Rocky fight. This was him fighting, Carl Weathers here. So anyway, he's set to fight him. Overeem injures his hand in the lead up to the fight, and he's unable to fight. And he's replaced by Andrei Arlovsky, who's also a good fighter. 25-15 record, no pushover.
No.
Brett wins by TKO in 22 seconds.
Holy shit.
22 seconds.
He crushed Arlovsky in 22 seconds.
All I could think is maybe Arlovsky wasn't ready to fight, and he just took the thing as a last-minute replacement to get a quick payday.
He's trying to figure out in English what fight means.
Yeah, he's like, I do what? And then the next thing you know, he's getting hit. Another guy that he's like, why am I here? Should I get there? And then he's like, why he hit? And then it's over.
He hit me so much.
And TKO, he's like, what happened? He's like, you were just in a fight, mister. You're 25-11 now. So, sorry. He's like, how I in fight? I wasn't. I don't.
You were just in a fight, mister.
I don't. Why? He hit. Why rabbit punch to head? I don't. That's legal? Why? What happened? I don't know. So, he beats a real fighter in 22 seconds here. Right. That's a real fighter.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 10-0. Getting a ton of buzz. He's the next big heavyweight thing. Kimbo Slice is gone. He's the new Kimbo.
All right.
All right. So that's what's going on. This fight was just a quick bunch of combinations. A left hook ended up just knocked him out. It was just so quick. And Rogers said he felt like Arlovsky was hesitating, and he said, I just went after him. I was hungry. So he saw a little bit of weakness. So now he's at the top of the list now even more. He's
undefeated.
10-0, and he was going to get a title shot before, and now he's really ready for one. He says, I'm going to just keep it going. I love this sport. I'm ready for anybody. I want that title. So now he's dangerous, man.
So dangerous.
10-0. 10-0. Everything is going well. Can I say it, Jimmy?
Yeah. This is Grace.
Grace.
10-0.
This is Grace,
and
man.
And he's there.
All potential.
All right.
All the potential
That's
in the world. Greg Nelson, who owns the Academy of Minnesota, it's a MMA deal, he says, quote, he comes to these local shows and he was kind of killing a lot of people, just knocking them out left and right. And he went from that all the way to the cream of the crop, which he's about to fight in a second here. He's 10-0. They asked him if he felt invincible, and he said, I feel invincible. I feel like I can't be touched.
Yeah.
So he can't be touched. He's the man. He is set to fight Fedor Emelianenko.
Oh, boy.
As we know from previous episodes, this is a bad motherfucker.
He fights a lot of fucking psychopaths.
He does. And coming into this fight, Fedor is 31-1 and a bad man. He's a nasty son of a bitch. He's a mean son of a bitch. Not a guy to be trifled with here.
No.
They do a big thing. They have a Fight Camp 360, which is their Showtime's version of HBO 24/7 with the boxing leading up to it, and they show all sorts of behind the scenes because he's fighting the champ. This is Rocky fighting Ivan Drago right here. I mean, this is the champ who's a bad, no one can beat him, and then there's this guy who just quit his job at Sam's Club.
What a brilliant fucking plan that is, too. To have a channel dedicated,
brilliant,
just to hype the fucking fights you got coming up.
They just have a series of once a week 30-minute new documentary.
Marketing.
It's
damn it.
Really brilliant. It really
is. It's essentially ESPN for MMA.
That's all it is. And boxing.
Right. Yeah. Except you don't have something to talk about every single day, so you just talk about the shit that's coming up.
Well, this isn't a channel. This is just a show they do.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Like
I thought you were saying it was like...
No, leading up to it...
I've never heard of this shit. That's why I'm...
No, leading up to a fight... Yeah, really. You've never watched any HBO shows. What am I doing here? Leading up to a fight, like once a week, they put out another half-hour documentary of like the lead up to the fight.
That's ridiculous.
So it's fucking
genius.
crazy. It's insanely genius.
It's fucking genius.
By the time the fight comes, you're like, I will watch a bum fight a 7-Eleven clerk. I don't care.
I don't care who's fighting.
I'm
watching.
This is amazing.
Because I've seen these fuckers drink raw eggs for the past 6 weeks.
Now, in this episode, they show Brett in the process of moving into a new home with his wife.
And he's bench pressing his couch.
Yeah, now he's got 3 kids, and he's talking about that he bought this home thanks to the money that he's now earning as a professional fighter, and he's so proud. He says that he's so proud that his children have a backyard to play in now.
What a great story.
Like I never had growing up, and now I can provide for them. This is Grace.
Did he call his fucking place?
Grace.
Did he
didn't give it a stupid name, thank God. It wasn't a huge house, but it was just a nice house. And,
he named some modest house Cabrini Green.
A nice house
shit.
in the burbs, man. This is Cabrini Blue right here.
He's got a gate on it.
My own. So Strike Force, Fedor versus Rogers.
Okay.
We're coming here. Happens on this night, November 7th, 2009. It's at the Sears Center in Chicago. So, I mean, this is just outside Chicago. It is on CBS, national television. 5.5 million people watch this fight.
Oh, shit.
Watch this main event. He's fighting Emelianenko, who's a badass, like we said. He is the WA MMA heavyweight title holder, which I don't even know what that is. It was hard to... It's not this... He's not the Strike Force title holder. It doesn't matter. He's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. He's 31-1. This is a back-and-forth fight.
Really?
I mean, Brett fights his ass off.
Okay.
He gets in there. They exchange blows a lot. They wrestle around. Neither of these guys are afraid to stand and exchange hands.
Oh, boy.
You can see that Brett is not quite as aggressive as he was with James Thompson with Emelianenko.
Well, it's because he's fighting a real guy.
Careful. But he's not backing off. He's just careful. And he look, this is a real fight. This is no fucking joke.
Yeah.
You blink, this guy will knock you the shit out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens in round 2 in 1:48 into round 2. Emelianenko, the fight is called TKO.
Okay.
Pretty much just starts pummeling Brett. He got him good. This punch that he hit him with, wow, Jimmy.
Really?
It's a knockout blow. There's a little pause, and then he delivers this one blow where you're like, oh, my God, I would be drooling and not remember my name for the rest of my life if you hit me like this. Unbelievable. A giant man. Really clocked him hard. So he fought valiantly. That's what happens in fighting. Sometimes you get hit, you get beat.
Sometimes it comes down,
He's 10-1, but it's not bad.
No.
10-1
still you can come back. Emelianenko has a loss.
That's what I mean.
You
and
can
the
go
fact
20 more.
that you lost to him and you didn't just get beat in 20 seconds. You came in there, you gave it as good as you got.
How many rounds did it go?
It was second round.
Oh,
148. But I mean, the way they were fighting, when you have 260...
It wasn't going 3 rounds anyway.
Two 260-pound guys throwing blows like that, it ain't going 3 rounds. I can't believe it went to a second round. It's only because they're both really tough. So he gets another fight here. Before his next fight, he shaves his head. Now he loses the mohawk. He had that mohawk all the way through. Yeah. He goes for an interview. Now he's totally bald, shaved his head, and they go, "Why'd you shave your head?" And he goes, "I'm Brett Rogers, not Mr. T." That's his answer to it. And we're like, well, that makes sense. Yeah. He said, I felt silly. Yeah. Felt like I was being a little too,
Mr.
wasn't
T
being
lost
serious
in Rocky
enough.
too, so.
There you go, Rocky 3. But yes.
No, I meant Rocky also.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
he
Rocky
lost
3.
too, so
he did.
That's why you get rid of that shit.
Definitely. He says he's ready for his next fight. Didn't take him very long to get over the last fight, to get over the loss. He said, man, that happens. You go out, he had a good attitude. He said, you go out there, you get a great fighter. Sometimes you get knocked out. I could have just as easily knocked him out. It happens. He's fighting Overeem next, because this is the fight he was supposed to have. He says that he says in this interview that Overeem's a cocky guy and he doesn't respect him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he called him a cocksucker.
No. He says almost. He says he's a cocky guy, doesn't respect him. Says that all Overeem cares about is his body and how it looks. And he says that, quote, if he didn't have that, quote, Eastern diet, he wouldn't look like that. And then he starts laughing and he goes on to say that he's pointing to me. He goes, I'm all clean and natural. I'm all natural. He's on that Eastern diet, and he starts laughing. And the guy who's interviewing me goes, what do you mean, like horse meat that he's eating? And Brett goes, yeah, that's what I meant. And he looks off camera and smiles. Like he's saying Overeem's roiding his fucking ass off. Yeah. Which when they show the fighters, Overeem looks like an action figure. He's ridiculous. He is. Every muscle prominent, jacked, and a 265-pound jack. Like people aren't built like that. Right. Yeah, he looks like Brock Lesnar when he's fighting WWE. Jesus, people don't look like that unless they're juiced to the max. He's gassed.
Completely unnatural.
He's fucking gassed.
Human bodies aren't supposed to look like that. I'm fine with them doing it, but it's not supposed to look like that.
And Brett is not. Brett looks like a guy he's got little tits. You know what I mean? He's got like an A cup, Brett. He's got little tits hanging out. You know, he's got tits. He's got these little soft in the belly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jimmy? Not big titties. Not like a D cup. Not a D. He's not motorboating anybody. Like no one can motorboat him. We'll say that. But he's got something. You know what I mean? Like if he went to a strip club,
it's so natural.
If he went to a strip club, they'd be like, "You can work Wednesday afternoon, but no, nothing else. Just Wednesday afternoon. Sorry."
He's not working Hooters.
No, he's not working the night shift. He's like, "Yeah, Wednesday afternoon." A veterans group comes in. A lot of them have damage to their eyes, so you can. It's no big deal. So yeah, he's got his.
He's got little tits.
Little titties, little nice little titties.
Holy shit.
So. Anyway, if you ever hear...
Oh, God, that hurt.
If you ever hear in MMA someone say Eastern diet, that means steroids, apparently.
Gotcha. That's code.
That's code. May 15, 2010.
I liked that he was saying he only cares about what he looks like. I thought he was going to call him gay or something.
No, he was just saying he's a cocky pretty boy that only cares about that shit. Screw that guy. So May 15, 2010, he fights Overeem at Strikeforce Heavy Artillery in St. Louis. Overeem's 33-11 coming into the fight.
Yep.
This is for the Strikeforce heavyweight title. Brett comes in with his head shaved. They dance around a lot. His little titties bounce. When they bounce, too, his little titties bounce. They do. Because they're tiny. There's not a lot to bounce. You just see these little jiggles. It's very nice.
He looks like that techno Viking on YouTube.
Have you seen
sexy
that guy? Man. No,
when he bounces, he's got his little titties bounced.
That's right. He's got some little titties on him. Nice.
Google that guy, the techno Viking. It's hilarious.
Check him out now. So they're dancing around. It looks like a slow boxing match, basically, because they're just dancing squared up with their hands. Which, if they do that, you see the difference between MMA and boxing. Because you're like, Jesus, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Neither of these guys are fast or good at what they're doing.
They look like they're just going through the motions of being a boxer.
Yes,
they look like me standing in the mirror shadow boxing like an asshole.
Totally, absolutely. Now Brett can say he doesn't respect him all he wants, but it's obvious that he respects him because when Overeem takes a step forward, Brett takes a step back. Like he's not standing there like, go ahead and hit me. He knows this guy can knock me the fuck out.
A steroid punch hurts just as bad as a regular punch.
Worse, as a matter of fact. Brett gets tossed down like a drunk getting thrown out of a bar at one point. It's not like an MMA throw. They kind of got locked up, and Overeem just threw him by the arm.
Frustration.
Just tossed him on the ground. Like you'd see in the old days, like a drunk get thrown through the plate glass window of a bar, and he's out. That's how Brett got thrown on the ground.
Or a guy that's getting in a tussle and getting beat up by a woman, and he has too much respect to punch her, and he just pushes her down.
Yeah, too much respect to punch her. Wow.
But not enough to not
throw her down. Exactly. I was going to say, where'd that happen when he was still, where's the respect at that point? Jesus Christ, Jimmy. Good God. So Overeem jumps on him. They're on the mat for like 2 minutes, just, whatever. Eventually, Overeem punches Brett about 20 times while he's on the mat. He just starts pummeling the side of his head while he's on the mat. The ref stops it. There was no way out of it. I don't know why they waited so long. Like, what's going to happen soon could probably be linked to this ref not jumping in 5 seconds.
Really?
I'm not even fucking kidding, because he gets hit way too many times in the head from a huge guy for no reason. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just 20 unanswered blows to the side of the head from a 260-pound steroid freak. How the fuck would that affect your thinking? You know what I mean?
And the ref's like, he can get out of this still. I see it. I see an opportunity.
So now he's 10-2. We have an in their own words on this whole thing. He says, in their own words, quote, "It took me a fighter to know, to kind of lay back and be like, okay, I think I'm moving a little too fast. A loss wakes you up. I kind of just started looking at what's the problems, what's the holes in my game."
Yeah.
So now he's like trying
The loss doesn't wake you up. It's the smelling salts. So.
Yeah. Well, what happened here? He fights some fight this is like a little tune-up fight. W1 MMA 6 New Ground is the title of the thing. It's in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeesh.
He fights Ruben Warpath Villarreal, who's a 6'4", 282-pound guy.
For fuck's sake.
And a frightening-looking son of a bitch. 22-28 career record.
Okay.
This fight goes all 3 rounds.
Really?
Goes the distance. Brett wins by unanimous decision.
Oh.
Goes 11-2 there.
He beat Warpath.
He beat the Warpath. Yeah, he tries to pull it together in training, but he said it's just like things weren't coming together how he wanted them to exactly. He said for his next fight, he's got a fight against Josh Barnett, who's currently fighting UFC. He just had a fight in November in UFC where he beat Andrei Arlovsky, actually, in 2016, November of 2016. He said, according to Brett, when he showed up in Dallas to face Barnett, he said he felt horrible and he felt like he was about to embarrass himself on live TV. He just didn't feel like it was going well, which is exactly what fucking happened here in Dallas at the American Airlines Center.
He's clairvoyant.
Barnett's 35-8. Lifetime and a real respected guy. Brett loses. They goes to the second round. 1 minute 17 seconds of round 2. It's a submission, rear naked choke. 11-3 now. So he taps old Brett out. Brett is just distraught at this point. He's despondent. He's having a bad time. Obviously, he's got 3
lost
losses
3 of
now.
4 fights.
He's falling from grace hard. He's grabbing for a branch or anything he can grab onto. We have an in their own words about this situation. In their own words, quote, "That's when I really lost focus on who I was fighting. My head was just so heavy, feeling like the world. I thought it just didn't matter who I fight. Give me anybody. It was a depressing period in my life, and the depression led me to not caring. The not caring led me to the bottle. I definitely was trying to wash some of those feelings away because that fight to me was probably my most embarrassing fight. I guess I was trying to recover, you could say, in my own way."
A guy that size, how much of that bottle does it take?
That size... This is why they have to be fed weed. Jimmy. This is what I mean. You pin them down, you feed them weed. They don't want to drink.
You don't want to feed that animal booze.
No.
Holy shit.
This is what I mean. You
so
don't want to give this nutcase whiskey.
And he's jacked up, and he's angry and depressed. This is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wasn't dealing well with shit, basically. This is where I mean, does he have a little brain damage now? Because this is out of nowhere. He starts acting like kind of a different guy, and maybe all those blows to the head that didn't I don't know. I mean, I'm sure... We'll find out. He was a dick before that we didn't know about. But yeah, exactly. But he wasn't dealing with, he wasn't talking to anyone about anything. Him and his wife were having some issues. They recently moved to Apple Valley, which is in the suburbs of St. Paul, where he said, quote, "People notice us here." Because I guess he said they're like the only black people in the neighborhood.
And
Prince
he's
doesn't live there.
enormous.
And he's fucking enormous, and he looks crazy and everything else.
He's the only 6'5" black guy that's drunk as piss. Wandering around.
Crazy and dangerous. And he's starting to get scared how he's going to maintain this now. Because now he's starting to get paranoid. He just lost 3 fights. He just bought a big house. He's like, how am I going to keep this here? If I start losing fights, I'm not making any more money. Now what do I do? Sam's Club ain't going to pay for this house.
No.
So it's starting to go downhill. I mean, it started as a hobby, and now he's getting beat by future UFC champions and shit like that. Like, it's very tough, for him at this point. So tough that things really come to a head. June 28th, actually the morning of June 29th, from the evening of June 28th, 2011. Police are called to the home in Apple Valley about 12:35 a.m. For a report from a neighbor of screaming and sounds of breaking glass coming from inside the home.
There are now arguments at home.
Yes. A neighbor also saw Rogers punch his wife while she laid on the ground in the backyard.
Fuck.
Yes, this gets worse. Police arrive. Brett meets them in the driveway. He tells them that they had an argument. Him and his wife him and Tijuana had an argument.
Yeah.
He said that during the argument, she hit him and that he hit her back. That's what he said. He said, she hit me and I struck back at her.
Yeah.
He said that the cop said that he had no visible injuries to him. His speech was excessively slurred and his breath reeked of alcohol. Yeah. The cop said he was just hammered beyond.
I mean, that's not illegal.
No. But if you get through that and then punch your wife, that's
right.
illegal.
There's a problem.
Brett gives them permission to search the property for his wife, and they cannot find her.
Oh, shit.
She is nowhere to be found on the property. They later find her wandering around. Well, they don't think they find her. They just find some woman who they don't know what's going on wandering around by a nearby school. Her face is covered in blood along with the rest of her. She is missing a tooth and has like a 2 golf ball size lump above her left eyebrow.
That's not from one punch.
That is, and we're going to get into this, and among other injuries too. Yeah. She said at the time that her husband became angry during an argument and attacked her, and she blacked out, and she didn't even remember walking over here.
Wow.
So, Later in an ambulance on the way to the hospital, she told police that they argued and that he squeezed her. He choked her until she blacked out.
Wow.
He fucking choked her out, but not even with an MMA hold, with his fucking hands. With his hands. She said that they got into an argument in the house and that she got away and went into the backyard, and that's when he followed her and hit her and punched her and choked her, and that's what the neighbors saw happening in the backyard, which is crazy. She also sustained a broken jaw.
Fuck.
Broken jaw, all sorts of bruises too. She was covered. Later, she said that she would admit that he put both hands around her neck and choked her. After he had 2 hands,
that's some anger.
She said he got her on the ground, began hitting her about the head and face, and then choked her, causing her to black out.
Jesus.
It gets worse. Their children were there to witness this, because that's what you want to show your 10-year-old daughter. That's how you're supposed. Wow, unbelievable, nice example, dickhead. They ran to a neighbor's house during this whole thing, and they didn't even want to go home because they said their father had hits the mother a lot and also has hit and choked them before.
Jesus.
So they're scared of him now. Apparently the daughters tried to separate them. These poor fucking kids tried to separate them from fighting, which also gives him another charge too. In the end, he gets charged with gross a misdemeanor for child endangerment. There's a kid there. Yeah. He said when he was arrested, he'd been drinking alcohol before the argument, and that's what led to the fight breaking out. He said that the wife punched him first, and that all he did was, quote, return the force. That's what he said. He had a return of force, which, the neighbor described the return of force was him getting her on the ground at 265 pounds and punching her multiple times in the fucking head. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Also, she has injuries to her back, injuries to her neck. But
what do you want to bet that neighbor says shit like, I do not want to be Mr. Rogers' neighbor?
Yeah, no shit. Well, we'll get into that, actually. You just stole some thunder that's going to happen in a minute here. Yeah. Okay. So she says also, too, after she gets her senses about her, she denies being assaulted, Tijuana, and says that she fell down. She said, I fell on the ground.
I fell down, knocked out one of my teeth,
broke
got
my
these
jaw, golf ball, and my neck's fucked up, all this shit.
Ladies, stop it.
Stop. And we don't know. I don't want to blame her because she has kids and she's trying. Who knows how abused she is, too. He might have some weird... He might be abusing her for years. The kid said this isn't new, so I can't even blame her.
Syndrome.
I just feel bad for her, and I wish she could get away from it. She said that she was released from the hospital. She refused to meet with an investigating officer. Yeah. She told him, quote, the assault was my fault.
Oh, boy.
She actually said it's my fault.
Oh, boy.
That's how bad. She said that she didn't want him charged with assault because she didn't want to, quote, cause him trouble with his job. Yeah. It said in the criminal complaint. The witnesses said that the children said they saw the father push the mother. The oldest daughter said that he strikes the children, like we said. Yeah. Tijuana also refuses to allow officers to photograph her injuries, and will tell.
Did you see him?
No. Okay, she wouldn't let anybody photograph her. There's no photographs.
Okay, I thought you said
refused.
Okay.
She refused, and she will tell anyone who walks by that it was her fault.
Wow.
Just keep saying it's her fault. He's arrested on these charges we'll get into in a second. His bail is set with $100,000 and conditions on it also. He'll appear back in court. He's charged with third-degree assault, terroristic threats, and harassment and stalking charge, and child endangerment as well.
He knocked her fucking teeth out.
Yes, that's how bad he beat her.
This is
horrible.
This is assault on so many levels. This is so terrible.
This is horrible. If he's fully convicted of everything he could face, this is all maximum if everything was max. 19 years and $38,000 in fines. He is immediately fired from Strikeforce. They are not taking this shit at all. UFC President Dana White immediately came out with a statement and said, quote, Brett Rogers was cut immediately. He's done.
Yeah.
So not fucking around there.
Good.
Not happening here.
This ain't the NFL.
No, there is actually an article defending him.
Get the fuck out of here.
I found an article titled, Dana White Illegally Fires Brett Rogers. And in this article it said, quote, don't you people find it interesting that Dana was quick to pull the trigger on Brett Rogers without any proof of his guilt? I'm not saying that Rogers is innocent, but guess fucking what? Legally, he is just that until proven guilty. So technically, Brett Rogers was fired unlawfully and, in my humble opinion, should fucking sue Dana White.
Who wrote that?
Some dickhead MMA guy. One of these MMA guys. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate him
so much.
Now,
he beat up a woman, you fucking dick.
Bad. Now, a woman who's put up with plenty of shit, too. Put up with his tire-changing horse shit.
He beat up the person that he vowed to love forever.
And has 3 kids with him. So his attorney, who he acquires a silver-haired, middle-aged white man faster than anybody's business here, he says, quote, these allegations are serious allegations, and we take them very seriously. Okay. He said allegations and seriously. That's all he ever said in that whole sentence. But we're looking forward to addressing them in court. The state is going to have some significant proof issues. The alleged victim is Brett's wife, and this is a family that's been together for a long time. They love each other, and Mrs. Rogers at this point appears unwilling to testify against Brett. So he's like, the wife isn't even going to testify. We're getting off on this. We have it in their own words of his explanation here on this. In their own words, this is on his arrest. He says this, by the way, with his wife sitting next to him on camera.
Fucking
right next to each other.
Like Ray Rice.
In their own words, quote, I was told not to go into details. The situation that occurred happened, and it was more of a misunderstanding the way I look at it. The papers can write whatever, but we're still going through the legal process. I'm confident things are going to get dropped, squared away so we can move forward, like we said. We're just a couple. We have our ups and downs just like everybody else. I just want to get back in and fight and move forward from all the BS that's been going on in my life. It's just a lesson learned. Life's a roller coaster, and it's a lesson learned. Wobble. What the fuck? Wobble.
He just Joe Dirted us. Life's a garden. Dig it.
What a dickhead. During his statement, in the middle of it, his wife interrupts and just says, quote, we're just trying to move forward and be positive. He's a family man, and a lot of people don't see that with MMA fighters. They're just so quick to judge. We just enjoy being around each other, and we just want to continue loving each other, loving our family, and just focus on moving forward and being positive.
She said through a lisp minus a tooth.
Yeah, exactly. With makeup over on her forehead.
We just want to move forward.
Unreal. He's trying to move on by training. He just doesn't care.
He just doesn't care. Fuck you.
Jesus Christ.
This is so sad.
So July 27th, so he's not allowed to even, up till July 27th, 2011, from June, he wasn't allowed to have any contact with his wife, children, anything.
Really?
No contact. On July 27th, 2011, Dakota County Judge Rex Stacy modifies a previously issued no contact order, allowing Rogers to contact his wife via phone, email, and text, as allowing also to him to speak with his children and to meet with the family for counseling sessions. His attorney says that it's a positive sign. His client is prepared they're going to have a plea conference and do all of that. He says, quote, we're pleased with the progress we're making in Brett Rogers' case. The no contact order with his wife was modified to allow contact, and his wife and kids are happy to know Dad will be back soon.
Jesus.
Unbelievable. He says, after Monday's hearing, we are even more confident that Brett will be vindicated and that life and family will be back together.
Positivity.
Now,
that's a bad thing, by the way.
Fuck yeah.
Getting him back in the house is not a good thing.
By the way, this story gets so weird, and we're not there yet.
Really?
The end of this story is so fucking weird. It's a crime we've never had on Crime and Sports.
Really?
Ever. What he does, we've never had happen before.
Fantastic.
It's wild. Well, we've had a version of it, but not like this. Anyway, okay. Also, same day, July 27, 2011, Brett is served with a restraining order by his neighbors. Mr. Rogers is served with a restraining order by his fucking neighbors. Wow.
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood doesn't want him there.
Awesome. How great is that's why I was like, no, don't say that, Jimmy. Damn it, you're ruining it.
That's fantastic.
Apparently,
won't you be my neighbor? Fuck no.
No, apparently this is for... That's amazing. No, as a matter of fact, sir, here are some court documents explaining exactly...
Stay the fuck away from me.
This explains exactly how little contact I want to have with you. It's a restraining order for harassing his neighbors. Yeah. One of their neighbors was bit by Brett's dog.
Really?
And apparently Rogers walks his dog in front of the neighbor's house to intimidate them.
They said. What a
put
dick.
In the thing. So the restraining order also applies to his wife, Tijuana, there, who allegedly joins her husband in picking fights with neighbors, even though their children play together.
Jesus.
She's picking fight. This is that couple. Yeah. This is that couple who the wife or the husband isn't the voice of reason.
Right.
They egg it on.
Yeah.
This is that couple. That's a bad. Don't get with someone who eggs you on. Get with someone who tries to talk.
Tries to talk you off a ledge and calms you down.
One of you should
Listen,
be fine.
you're being irrational.
And that's
you need
some
to
trashy shit.
down.
Let's fight with the neighbors who are our kids' friends. These kids can't win. It's like we made friends. We're already the family whose mom their dad pummeled the mom in the backyard, and now we're the family that has restraining orders against us who you're fighting with for no reason.
And
Thanks,
they've got
Mom.
a great treehouse. Leave them the fuck alone. We want to go over there.
Right? If Rogers violates the order, he faces a year in jail and $3,000 fine.
Jesus.
During this time, because all this is going on and he has no fights, in order to pay his bills, he takes a job delivering the St. Paul Pioneer Press.
Oh, no.
Yes, he says...
In the internet age when people get their news off the internet.
Well, he said he liked being at work early in the morning because then he said, quote, he didn't have to see too many people face to face. He didn't have to risk somebody recognizing him.
Living in the shame.
Living in the shame.
He got a fucking paper route.
Absolutely. Unreal. So
next step, cleaning up dog shit. What the fuck kind of job?
Man, I'm telling you.
He's gonna mow lawns.
Just doing odd jobs.
He's gonna pay his mortgage with a paper.
That's what I mean.
Route?
That's not gonna help.
Holy shit!
Honey, I made $74 this week. Oh, great. Well, I can put the kids in private school then. Excellent, perfect. What are you making? Well, the old man down the streets, he usually gives me a $4 or $5 tip, too. So when I collect from him, I'll hook it up.
Unbelievable.
So he's, people are still, it's unreal. His attorney, the silver-haired middle-aged asshole here, says, quote, Mr. Rogers asserts his innocence in this matter and is confident that the facts of what happened will vindicate his assertion of innocence. Mr. Rogers has never been charged with any domestic-related incidents or assault offenses. He is a caring and loving husband and father that has recently found success as a heavyweight mixed martial arts fighter. We urge all media and interested individuals to withhold judgment to see as to what occurred in this incident. I'm
judging like crazy right now.
Yeah. He says he's concentrating on his fight comeback, not his legal issues. He says he's good now. This isn't I'm good now. He says, quote, I learned that first and foremost, you have to want to change. Yeah. And I have a lot of time to think about it. And I've had a lot of time to sit in jail and think about what happened. And I made promises to myself. I'm good now. I am good. I'm good now. That's cool.
So many walks with my dogs. I've just made so many great life decisions.
No worries. Yeah, life is good for me, clearly. I have to get someone else to walk my dog down the other side of the street because I can't go down there because I'm not allowed.
Well, I'm riding my bike, flipping these papers out of the basket.
Yeah, God. That's awful. Yeah, what if that guy ordered the paper? Yeah. Is he allowed to go in front of his house then?
Can he go toss a paper in his driveway?
Maybe he's got to go to a different neighborhood. I don't know. He signs with Titan Fighting Championships. It's a Kansas City-based company that's branched out more now. Now they're all over, but they started out there. He has a fight set for September 24th, 2011, which is 11 days after when his trial's supposed to be, against a guy named Eddie Sanchez. September 13th, they do the whole plea thing. He pleads guilty to felony third-degree assault for the domestic violence. As a part of the plea agreement, the other charges will be dropped when he's sentenced. So it's just the third-degree assault. So that just happened September 22nd. A week later, huge fluff piece on him.
Oh, my God.
Huge. He's making a comeback.
Nice about him?
He's roaring back. People are idiots. The question, they go, where does Rogers see himself 1 year from now? He says, I definitely want to be on a winning streak, talking so much shit and showing the fans I can become a champion again.
They can print that?
They can print that, yeah, apparently. Talking so much shit.
What an idiot.
Unreal.
Also, too, so It frustrates me at these things that these fluff pieces get written all the time, constantly.
That's why it's a thing for us.
Right.
It's a part of our bingo. It's fluff piece.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not that somebody believes that stuff that they're writing, and some of it may be, but you know that somebody fucking paid somebody to write that nice shit. And how do you, as a journalist, take that dirty ass money knowing full well what this fucking asshole did?
Because people are so stupid that they see that and they go, "Oh, I like that guy now. He's not so bad," because it works. That's why they do it.
Gross.
It's stupid.
It gets people to watch.
Yeah. Why do people make hamburgers? Because people eat hamburgers. I mean, it's all there is to it.
If you're running a fight club or a fight gym, any sort of fighting, I'll watch it to watch this guy get his ass kicked. I'll root against him. Yeah. I'll root for him to get his ass kicked for sure.
He talks about that here too. Well,
but I don't want to read a goddamn thing about him that's nice. Nothing. No, make him be the villain.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That makes sense. It is wrestling. Just make him be the villain.
I don't care that he works. I just want to watch him lose.
Yeah, that would work perfect. So he comes into this fight September 23rd, 2011, Titan FC 20. It's in Kansas City. He fights Eddie Sanchez, who's a 6'1", 214-pounder with a 13-8 career record. Fight goes the distance.
Does it?
3 rounds. Brett loses by split decision.
Jesus.
So this is not great. No. He needed to come back and just wipe the floor with somebody. Instead, he's 11-4.
He lost by split decision.
So
one guy
decision.
thought he did well.
Yeah, one guy was like, I thought he was okay.
I don't know. That guy did well.
So we get to October 24th, 2011. The next month, he's arrested on a Monday morning for failing to comply with conditions of his pre-sentencing release stemming from his guilty plea. He's arrested at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning for something that happened Sunday. Apparently, the allegations he violated his conditions by contacting his wife and pushing a man at a Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant. So that's what he's doing. He went in.
How does he have money
at Buffalo Wild Wings? He heard his wife was at Buffalo Wild Wings. He went to meet her. Somebody said something. And he shoved the guy, and that's how.
Aren't
bad
you that dick that punched your wife and then he shoved him?
He was Rocky, and now he's literally shoving a Buffalo Wild Wings assistant shift manager for asking if he wanted more teriyaki fucking buffalo. What is going on?
Fucking hell!
Holy shit! Unreal. So he's scheduled to come back for this on January 19th into court. Wow. This is ridiculous. He's scheduled to be he's still scheduled for sentencing next month. His attorney said that he surrendered to authorities, and he says he didn't violate anything, and he didn't have any contact, and he denies it all. He faces 5 years in prison for this, by the way.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this isn't great.
Over a shove
And a violation of pre-sentencing deals here. Now, November 28th, this is when this is all going down. Rogers' attorneys request a lesser sentence than recommended by guidelines, but the judge said there was not compelling or substantial reasons to depart from that. He's supposed to fight on December 31st. He wants to get out and train because this is November 28th. He says, if I have to go to jail for any amount of time before that, even I can't train.
Yeah.
So they say, well, tough shit, basically. You're just going anyway. Tijuana says at the sentencing for the domestic violence, she speaks before sentencing, pleading with the judge to let her husband come home. She said the whole experience has taught her and Brett a lesson. She said, quote, if you allow him to come home, things will be so much better. She said, I've learned a lot since this incident. And in their own words here in court, quote, I apologized before and I apologize again. It was just one of those nights, Ever since that night, it's been hell for me, That's what he says to a judge. The judge says, excuse me, asshole. What
was the misunderstanding? She wanted to keep all of her teeth and you wanted to take one?
I'd like one. I'd like one of those front ones for me. I'm going to make a necklace out of it. So the judge said it was much more than a bad night. It's called the night for his wife a horror. She said, quote, when you say it was a bad night, you minimize the horror of the night.
Oh, it was a female judge?
Female judge. She
said,
shit. I read about the events of that night, and I'm filled with horror about Mrs. Rogers sustaining an injury, and I'm sure I was excruciatingly painful. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Brett receives credit for 26 days served in jail. He'll serve 2/3 of the remaining sentence, which is about 14 days remaining. He's got to serve in jail, so he won't have time to train for that fight on New Year's Eve, whatever. As part of the deal, like I said, the felonies are dropped to do this. Part of probation, he cannot have contact with his wife until he completes a domestic abuse program and his probation officer approves the contact.
Wow.
He's also not allowed to use alcohol or drugs, and if he successfully completes the program, the offense is reduced to a misdemeanor.
He better stay the hell out of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Stay out of Buffalo Wild Wings.
They have so many beers.
Yeah, and his attorney says, I know a lot of people are rooting against him. People need to know that Brett is a gentle, loving, caring person with faults like everyone else. Wow.
Now Brett paid me.
Now Brett paid me. So, I mean, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?
This is bananas.
This is beyond fucking bananas. This is beyond bananas.
And he was 10-0 at one point.
Yeah. I mean,
looking out over the horizon on the top of a giant mountain at the empire he's going to create. Yeah.
And now he's sitting here.
And now he's sitting here.
He comes out of court. Everything's messed up. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's just like, what the fuck now? He smells something that smells good. He opens up a shop door, and it's the Shawarma Man. It's the Shawarma Man. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Why are you here? Yes, I come this time. People sense pattern. I throw them off. I come in, supposed to be someone there, and I come in and say, hey, here you are. That's how Shawarma Man play trick. How you play trick? You have misunderstanding? I play different trick. But
how you play trick?
For you, trick, knock wife teeth out. For me, trick, I shit in box, give to friend. I say, I have present for you. And he open box, and they go, I shit in box. And he goes, that's funny. And then we laugh for a while. And then I say, you want shawarma? I give to you. And then I cut and I give to him. And that's not shit. And that's a joke for me. For you, I don't know why you do. How is it you've come? Why? Sign say close. Get out. You go. No lamb for you. You big enough. You go. Get your little titties and go. Get out. Get out of my store. Go. I make for you. No, I don't.
You hit the woman.
I don't know where the shit in the box came from. He makes him leave his store.
And play trick.
That's my trick. I play trick. It's no good. It's okay. Oh, he came back for a second, the Shawarma Man. Now he's gone. So
get out.
Get out, Shawarma Man. Take a hike. Now, February 18th, 2012, he's fighting somewhere else. He's fighting for IFL. It's IFL 45. My Bloody Valentine is the name of it. Auburn Hills, Michigan.
That's perfect for him.
Perfect.
His Valentine is so bloody.
It's a bloody Valentine. It's a bloody June Valentine. He fights Todd Ali, who's a 4-2 career fighter with 2 no contests, including this fight. This fight is called a no contest in round 1 at 1:18 after an illegal blow to the back of the head. This guy was also no contested one time for an illegal knee to somewhere he wasn't supposed to.
So he's the one committing the illegal moves.
This guy's an asshole, this Todd Ali. That's why he only has 4-2.
So he punched Rogers in the back of the head?
Yeah, apparently he took a cheap shot.
So that's illegal, but you can knee somebody in the fucking face?
No problem. It's not in the back of the head. Right. You have to be able to knock teeth out and crush cartilage. Just the back of the head is not okay.
You have to be able to force them to drink their food through a straw. Yeah. But they have to be able to remember it.
They have to. That's the thing. They got to be able to see it coming, Jimmy.
Stupid.
There was talk at this point of signing a deal in Japan, but his manager kept trying to get him a deal with Bellator, who's another MMA big company. Each time, the Bjorn Rebney, who's Bellator, the chairman, CEO of Bellator, he was kind of like...
His name is Bjorn?
Bjorn Rebney.
He's named after a fucking baby carrier?
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? He said that, why do we need a guy with so much baggage, basically? Why should I take the chance? And then...
it's cute that he's talking about things that you carry.
Yeah, no shit. Why do you need so much baggage? You know how you can carry those? I'll tell you exactly how. That's all he cares about is how to strap things to your body.
He's got so much baggage that is not easily carried.
That's what it is, man. But that's awesome.
So stupid.
My God. So old Bjorn here says that based on some of the things that happened, we've been very hesitant about looking at him. Apparently, Brett's manager just calls this guy every day and said, no, he's changed. He's deeply sorry. He's the great guy. His life's on track. Yeah. You got to see him. Rebney said, I'm sure you're telling the truth, but, I need to talk to him and whatever. So Rebney says, quote, I got on the phone with him and listened to his story. Listened to him express regret for what had happened, and it all came off very legitimate. He was working, delivering papers, getting up at like 3:30 in the morning. He could have made more working as a bouncer in a club, but he told me he didn't want to do that because it would put him in the wrong environment. Yeah. It sounded honest to me. So he's going silver. His hair is turning silver before his very eyes.
Every time he says one more word.
Oh my God! So Rogers heads to Coconut Beach, Florida, Creek.
But instead, we gave him a nice carrier to put all
to
put all the papers in.
It's perfect. It's perfect. That's awesome. Brett is stepping up his training.
Yeah.
He goes to Coconut Creek, Florida to work with American Top Team, which is, I guess, it's all a lot of heavyweights. And he said that it was just the best. It was all dedicated fighters under one roof. He said, and when you go back the next day, you see the same faces. He said, I've never had that before. So it's just this gym he could really, really sink his teeth into.
Yeah. Because he's got them all.
Exactly. Yeah, his wife doesn't.
Right.
He has the balls to say that the time away from his family hasn't been easy for him. He said, but, like the counseling sessions, he sees something he can do to show his wife and kids how serious he is about being the husband and father and provider they need. So he's looking at it like that. We have an in their own words on this whole thing. In their own words, quote, about the training, quote, the kids, they understand what I'm doing and how important it is for me to be away. My wife, she understands that it's what pays the bills. I think we've all learned much from this. We communicate so much better now because we've learned that if something is hurting one of us, it's hurting all of us.
Oh, my God.
I'm good now.
What?
I am good fucking now. Wow.
Did he just say I'm hurting me too?
I'm hurting all of us, damn it. So June 22nd, 2012, for Bellator. It's his debut. It's at the Mountaineer Casino Racetrack and Resort in Chester, West Virginia, which we've talked about before with other fights. It's aired on Epix. It's against Kevin Asplund, which... I'm sure it's Asplund, but Asplund sounds like, wow. 16, and I don't even need to say.
He is beaten up his entire life. That's why he's a fighter. Yeah.
16 and 11 career guy. He's a Minnesota guy also. Brett wins by TKO after a doctor stoppage. Following the second round, Asplund's eye closed shut, apparently, and the referee had to stop the fight. He's 12-4 now. Rebney Bjorn said that he is very worried about fan reactions to Rogers, but he said he's always been a believer in second chances, and he hopes he won't regret this one. We have an in their own words about this whole thing, about Rogers and his comeback and everything. In their own words, quote, I want that fan to pay more attention to me now than ever. I'm human, and most likely that person is human too. No shit. Yeah. I know we make mistakes and we get over things. You have to move forward in life. I'm not going to be stuck in that period for the rest of my life. I know I fell down pretty hard, but I want to prove to people that you can bounce back. You can, if your heart is in it and you know your mistakes. He's going to bounce back. Now,
oh, my God. I hate him so much.
Yes, I do too.
There's just so many things in that statement that they can just be
He's such a
smart-assedly taken apart and spit right back in his face.
Wait till you hear what he's about to do.
I want Bjorn every time he makes a statement to be in a baby Bjorn strapped to a very large man's chest.
Right inside a...
Because that's how serious I would take him saying anything nice about this fucking jerk.
It's ridiculous, but he thinks he can make money off of him. Right. He has another fight here October 5th in Bellator. It's at the Horseshoe Casino in Hammond, Indiana, where dreams come true, obviously. He loses that against Alexander Volkov, who's a 6'7", 250-pound Russian with a 28-6 record. He's a badass.
Wow.
Brett loses unanimous decision there. He's 12-5 now. He wins a split decision against Evgeny Arokin in Russia. Now he starts doing these Russian fights. He's all over the place. He goes to Ecuador on November 30th, 2016. He fights Edson Ramos Silva. He's a big, giant Brazilian guy. Brett wins by 20 seconds by KO in that one. He wins the SFE Heavyweight Championship that night at 14-5.
Something extreme.
It's all it ever is.
Yeah.
December 31st, 2013, he's at the Inoki Bombay 2013 in Tokyo. Whoa. He fights Phil DeFries. Who's a 12-6 career fighter, another Englishman. Brett loses again in 3 minutes and 45 seconds into round one by submission to a rear naked choke. He's susceptible to that.
That one's a problem.
He's 14-6 now. Not going well. I mean, fuck, he's made this guy look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Bjorn took a chance and maybe he'd make some money. He made Dana White look like an asshole. Somehow he even made Kimbo Slice look bad, I feel like. His poor wife is missing teeth. His neighbors are being fucking harassed. His grandmother must be severely disappointed. She took him in. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy.
This is terrible.
I feel bad for all these people, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Brett Rogers, a federal account manager at VMware in Washington, D.C. They do federal software shit.
Yeah.
Brett Rogers.
I think that's a technical term.
I think so. That's what I was going
Federal
for.
Federal
software shit. The general counsel at Brown Advisory in Baltimore, Maryland, an investment management firm. Technical infrastructure development guy named Brett Rogers in Washington, D.C., area construction company. And Dr. Brett Rogers, a cardiologist in Knoxville, Tennessee.
That poor guy.
Affiliated with the University of Tennessee Medical Center.
Oh, Jesus.
That's terrible. And he is way down the list, let me tell you something, when it comes to these guys.
You find this guy way first.
Totally. He fights his next 3 fights, or he fights 2 of his next 3 fights in Russia, one in Tokyo. He loses to Konstantin Arokin in a unanimous decision. He's 14-7. He beats Yusuke Kawaguchi, and he goes 15-7. And then in May of 2014, he loses to Venji Arokin, who's a guy he beat before.
Previously.
He gets knocked out by him in the second round.
Holy shit.
Now he's 15-8. Whew, not going great here. He goes back to Russia again. I mean, Russia must not care if you're an asshole.
No, they don't give a shit.
They don't give a fuck.
I imagine
probably
they beat
more
their
popular
women,
if you beat your wife over there.
Yeah.
July 11th.
The president fucking poisons people, for
That's
Christ's
what I mean
sake.
here. Yeah, he wins a fight because the guy hurt his leg at one point here. He goes 16-8. He loses a unanimous decision to a guy in Russia. Sam's Club isn't sounding that bad right now. This guy, he's 16-9.
He was 10-0, and since then he's gone 6-9.
6-9.
That's a problem.
Yeah, he's in Russia again. He loses another fight. He wins when he's 17-9, and then he fights in Abu Dhabi in 2015. In March of 2015, Abu Dhabi Warriors 2 against Derek Memon. He's a 19-7 fighter, and Brett loses a unanimous decision, bringing him to 17-10.
Ouch.
And now we get now it's all legal craziness
really?
From now on. 2015, he is also arrested for violating a no-contact order, as well as other things that happen. And I know for a fact that his wife, Tijuana, got into the mix too. She actually got arrested. She's been arrested several. And this has nothing to do with nothing, but she got arrested a couple DUIs, a bunch of driving problems.
Oh,
she's not good in the car, this Tijuana, but she's arrested on October 22nd, 2015 for aiding and abetting a violation of a domestic abuse no contact order. So I don't know. There must have been something else that happened that is not publicized at all. She is convicted in 2015 of that, some sort of plea. So we get to late 2016.
And they have 3 kids together, and they're both fuck-ups.
They're both disasters.
God damn it.
Him more, and I feel like he's making her more of a fuck-up.
He's encouraging her fuckery.
Want to hear how much of a fuck-up he is?
Yes.
Late 2016, Brett is homeless.
What?
He is homeless, wandering the streets of St. Paul, and not even in a dignified way. He is known as the guy. He's causing, quote, many problems in the downtown St. Paul area. He's known as
vagrant.
He's the crazy homeless guy that everybody's scared of because he's enormous. He's that guy. He's known to menace the area.
Remember how I was saying that I'd like to be tall because tall guys are never homeless?
This guy's homeless.
6'5". He's a monster.
Enough blows to the head and legal problems, and it can happen, my friend. So he's wandering around, and he runs into some trouble. You want to hear about this trouble? Because it's fucking crazy.
All right.
Okay.
Where was he shitting?
Buckle up.
All right.
This January 19th, reports come out of Brett being charged in 3 different cases of sexual misconduct.
What the fuck?
They're odd. Okay. Buckle up, guys. He's hit with 2 counts of 5th-degree sexual assault and 1 count of interfering with someone's privacy.
What?
Okay. In November of 2016, he's at the George Latimer Central Library in an elevator.
You're talking about 8 months ago.
Yeah, this is very recent.
This has just happened.
This is excessively recent. He's in an elevator with a male employee when he reaches over and grabs the guy's dick.
That seems really,
He grabs the guy's dick.
Floor 1, please.
Grabs his cock and apparently just holds it on and just looks at the guy. That's what was described. He just cupped it and just kind of was like, "How you doing, buddy?" Like no words, just like, "This good for you."
Can you imagine?
So the library employee, unreal, right? This is fucking sick. Library employee slaps his hand away and says, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Hey, big fella, back off.
What are you doing? Soon, apparently, the elevator doors open, and Rogers just didn't say anything and walked out. Okay, so that's an odd thing.
I was just holding his dick for him. I was keeping it safe.
I was just checking it out, making sure I was all right. Later that month, a man reports that in the Skyway near in a downtown plaza in St. Paul, someone matching Roger's description. He's not charged for this, but they know it's him, but they whatever. Someone matching his description goes up to a guy, asks the guy if he wants to go hang out or go to a hotel or an apartment. When the man refused, Brett grabbed his hand and pulled it toward his own cock. And then the guy pulled it away and ran away from him. He's a giant guy, like, let me put your hand on my dick. And you're like, no, getting out of here.
Last time I held somebody else's dick, it was weird.
It was very weird. It was a little weird. It was uncomfortable.
Maybe I'll let them hold mine.
Let's see if that works better. On January 4th, he's in the men's room at the St. Paul Skyway, and he grabs a man's crotch in the men's room.
He's a serial dick grabber.
He grabs the man's crotch, and wow. He grabs the man's crotch. It's the guy who was at the urinal next to him.
Yeah.
He turns over, they get done pissing. He grabs his cock, and he asks him if he wants a hand job in the stall. That's what he asked the guy. You want to go in the stall? I'll give you a hand job. That's what the guy said. So apparently the guy said, no, I don't want a fucking hand job from a giant crazy person. So Brett grabbed his ass. Brett grabbed his ass like, come on, I got good hands. So the man quickly left the bathroom, scared he'd be raped by a giant lunatic.
Grabbing your dick and then fondling.
That's scary, alone in a bathroom.
I am terrified.
I would be super terrified. So the man left. He tells police there's surveillance video with it's from the outside of that, like them going in together and the man quickly leaving on his own, which is pretty fucking funny. That's only the first two.
Yeah.
So he's arrested for these two incidents, the library incident and this incident
and the
here.
Hand job.
And the hand job. Right. He's arrested, taken to jail where the third incident happens. Apparently, this is amazing, isn't it?
This is insane.
Apparently, Roger's cellmate was sleeping when he woke up to find Brett fondling his cock. That's what he was doing. Brett was like grabbing it through his pants there.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. He's never been a cock grabber at all before.
He was doing so great.
He said
10-0.
10-0.
And now he's grabbing
Grace.
dicks.
He's on national television. Now he's grabbing dicks in a thing. So
gay sex is hilarious.
Well, this isn't even gay sex. This is just assault. This is just weird assault. So the cellmate says that he opted not to tell the guards right away because what he says is he's, quote, Brett's quote, the biggest and strongest dude in the jail, and he might hurt me if I said anything. Yeah, if you're not going to tell on this guy, then he's definitely going to rape you at that point. Yeah. Jesus. At this point, he might just be grabbing your cock. Maybe you can get away with it. You sweet talk him a little. Brett denies the charges. He tells the officers, this is the best excuse we've ever had. Rogers tells the officers that he just taps the cellmate's leg, but he didn't fondle him as he'd alleged. He says that when he talks to people, he touches or taps them, but he says it's a black thing, is what he says. That's his answer. Because when I touched him, I tapped him, it's a black thing, and you wouldn't get it. That's what he said to the cop. He's like, you wouldn't understand. It's a black thing.
We do the black man handshake on
your cock. I fondle his cock a little. It's, it comes across as cock grabbing sometimes.
Haven't you watched the NBA? They have everybody has their own handshake.
You know how it is. It's fine. It's a black thing. Wow. Unbelievable. He also said that his former cellmate was lying, and it really upset him. He said, quote, I wish he was in front of me so I could beat his fucking ass, is what he told the corrections officer. So that makes you think that he didn't do it.
I'm going to kick the shit out of that guy for saying that I did a black handshake on his dick.
It's a black thing. What? You grab a guy's dick while he's sleeping. That's a black thing. Black listeners. We have plenty of black listeners.
Yeah.
Is that normal behavior in the black culture? Someone's sleeping, you're like, let me fondle his cock a bit. It's a black thing. No, I don't think it is, by the way. So June 6, 2017, like a fucking month ago, he accepts an Alford plea, which we've gone over before. Yeah. That is, you're taking the deal, but you're not admitting guilt.
Right.
You don't have to admit guilt, but you accept a deal.
To the dick handshake?
To all three of these charges.
All these dick handshakes.
Can we just please sweep this all the fuck out of here? He won't be serving any additional jail time, but he also must undergo a psychosexual evaluation.
Yeah.
A psychosexual evaluation from the state.
Wow.
As a part of his plea deal. The Family Counselor Services states that a psychosexual evaluation is something that, quote, focuses on an individual's sexual development, sexual histories, paraphilic interests, sexual adjustments, and recidivism risk level.
My God.
So they're checking out if Rogers is at risk to commit another similar conduct, if he's found to be at risk at risk to do this again, he may have to register as a sex offender or stay in a medical care facility.
Holy
That's all part of this.
shit.
He has to go to court and prove he won't grab somebody's cock next time.
His life
Good
is
luck.
over.
His life is fucked. That's Brett Rogers in a nutshell. That's what I mean. I was like, you can't wait till the end of this fucking shit because it gets crazy. Like, it's been nothing so far. Nothing at all.
Oh, my God.
Can't get enough of Brett Rogers?
No, I
You can
can't.
get an autographed 8x10 picture of Brett punching somebody, a certified autograph on Amazon.com. Follow on Twitter, why don't you? At Brett Rogers MMA. Please don't tell him we found him. You found him through us because he will kill us.
Yeah. At minimum, he'll jerk us off.
He'll offer anyway. He last tweeted in April, I saw. So
Okay.
he's been busy with court and shit. But he'll get back on there. Don't you worry.
He's in a mental institute right now getting a psychosexual
evaluation. But when he's done with the psychosexual evaluation, you know what you can do? You can hire him. You can go to athletespeakers.com and you can hire Brett Rogers for your next corporate appearance, autograph session,
This is fucking crazy.
store grand openings, or meet and greets.
Yeah.
Call for booking fee, travel available on request. Guys,
And watch your cock.
watch your cock. Keep your cock, close eye on it. Wear a
Oh,
cup.
my
That's all I have
God.
to say. That's Brett Rogers,
Wow.
guys. What a goddamn disaster. Wow, we're running long, so we got to cut quick. But I got to tell you, wow, that was a wild-ass story. I love it right to the end. If you like that story and you like all the stories that we tell you, please get on iTunes.
Please do.
Give us 5 stars. It really, really helps us out on the business end. Also, too, if you want to donate, you can go to patreon.com/crimeandsports and leave us a donation.
You can.
One-time donations at PayPal through crimeandsports@gmail.com on there.
We promise we won't grab your cock.
We will not grab your cock. You can follow us on all the social medias. We're at Crime and Sports on Instagram and Twitter, Crime and Sports at gmail.com, like we said, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports. And here are some fine, fine people that Jimmy has a list of that helped us out so much this week with reviews and donations and everything else. Why don't you hit them up, Jimmy?
Firstly, thank all of you for buying the shirts that are up. They're
Yes.
going to be shipped out
T-shirts.
this week, maybe the end. I'm not sure. I got to get
Awesome,
a hold.
guys.
The guy,
Thank
by
you
the
so
way,
much.
that I got to make our shirts. It is JR Customs, and I
Cool.
picked that because of the June. You're hired.
The
sir.
junior, you're hired, Mr. Junior. Absolutely.
So thank all of you for purchasing those at truecrimecomedyteam.com.
Definitely.
And they're almost gone, so if you want one, get them.
They're the first runs. We're going to have another design.
got it.
If you want that original Crime and
That's
Sports
the only
shirt,
one coming.
you got to do it now.
There it is. And then a guy named JR sent us an email and a donation that we helped him get through a tough side job. So we wrote in quotes, "Here's your cut." So thank you.
That's awesome.
Appreciate
Thank you,
JR.
man. Appreciate
An
that.
anonymous donor sent us $1 Canadian, which
That was
is
awesome.
from the fucking other show that we do.
From Small Town Murder. It's an inside joke. It's a Small Town Murder if you're not listening. What's wrong with you people?
He sent us $1 Canadian, so thank you. Stein Larson, Heather Budd, Heather Jean 288. That's at Heather Jean 288. That's not Heather Budd. That's another Heather. She sent us a donation. Jane Richards, Paul Vamos, Jenny Neighbors, Lumbersexual. I doubt that's a psychosexual evaluation.
No, maybe not.
David Stanish, Colleen Eismert, Katie Hayes sent us a very nice email telling us that she loves that we make fun of these assholes. Doffelighten, I don't know how to pronounce that. Doffelighten, whoever. Thank you so much.
You are.
Alex Herman, Jeremy Pendleton, Judy McConkey, Kerry Jameson, Peter Myers, Dana Davis, and Mitchell Forrester in Australia. Thank all of
guys,
you so much.
You really make the whole thing work. Thank you guys so much for everything.
It's a great week.
Thanks for all your support and everything. It means the world to us, guys. Honestly, keep it coming, and we'll keep this coming.
Yeah.
And if they want to interact with you, Jimmy, what can they do to do that?
At Wisman Sucks is my handle on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. WHISMAN Sucks. Find me, interact. I love it. I really appreciate it.
Now, I am at Jimmy P is funny. You can find me there. Copy and paste my name from the show description. Don't be a hero and try to spell it because you'll fuck it up. Don't worry about it. But guys, that's it for us this week. Hope you enjoyed. And
don't grab
we'll be
cocks.
back. We'll be back live from the Crime and Sports Studios.
This is your before and after story. Prepare for an incredible career in nursing. At Southeastern College, experience expert hands-on training. Learn real-world skills in our professional lab and simulated settings. And train for opportunities as a practical nurse, registered nurse, or career advancement with our RN to BSN program. At Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sac.edu to get started.